can stay right here, we will play until somehow you can find a slightly different frame of mind. Right here in my arms, away from all harm, you'll be safe from all the flares, although I know you don't care. You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Wish that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. When they say you will fall, you can reach nothing at all. Hide your tracks beneath the rind of a different frame of mind. Is that what you heard? Broken words in the dirt, yelling up into the sun. Here we come, here we come. Here we come, here we come. Here we come, here we come. You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Wish that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Wish that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. And when the light comes through, when the day isn't new, then it will be time for a new frame of mind. When all eyes are on you, you will know what to do, since you will have found your new frame of mind. When you lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, but always know that you'll be safe. I'll be here throughout your days. Come find me and we will play.
How's it going, guys? What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing? Anywhere from 15 to 24 of you, depending on what my watching count says. How are y'all doing? Make sure we that just straight cut. All right. So for those of you that haven't been in the stream and have seen the re-uploads, I'm gonna reiterate again. If you're watching this on YouTube and it doesn't say, it doesn't have the live chat, it's a re-upload. So there's that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's a re-upload. It's not live. I'll stream 3 to 4 days a week, about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on the weekdays, and probably about 2 p.m. And the music's a little loud for me. Probably a little loud for you guys as well. So I'm gonna turn it down just a tad bit. There we go. So as I said, I stream about 5 p.m. on the weekday Central Standard Time. It is currently 5:13 p.m. And on the weekends, I'll probably start about 2 p.m. to give some other people a chance to watch the stream about 3-4 days a week. But those of you that are asking what Project Cosmodrome is, it's just what I'm calling each section. I'm going to do a Project Cosmodrome. Let's take a look here. This is thanks to someone in Discord that made the suggestion that sparked the name for me. I'm going to do Project Cosmodrome, I guess Project Storm, Project Moon something, Project Ishtar, probably Project Meridian Bay, and then Project Dreadnought. I don't know what I'm going to come up with, but right now, we're calling this one Project Cosmodrome. And if you haven't been here, there's a spreadsheet that I've been working on where I do each strike in the game 35 times. Currently, we have finished epics, and last time I streamed was on Sunday. We started on Valis, but I decided that we're going to actually backtrack and make Valis wait. And we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to probably do Saber today. And then we're going to do either Will of Crota or Wretched Eye after 35 of Saber. And yes, I am on just PlayStation. Let's move this to public. Let's see if I have any friend requests. There's a good chance that I do. I generally do when I start up a stream, but I don't. So if you want to be on my friends list and you're on PlayStation, shoot a friend request to COS_YT. Fire team is open. We're going to be doing a lot of Saber. Yeah, you should probably do that. Absolutely. That's kind of how we do streams here. So if you're already on the friends list, go ahead and join in. First come, first serve until we get 3. If you're not on the friends list, shoot me a friend request, and after a couple strikes, we'll add some people and we'll get some new people in here. We'll go along the general lines of how we do streams here. I know a couple people asked how I was doing earlier today. I had a terrible, terrible migraine, but we're good now. Yes, I will be streaming during the weekend. Probably around 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, and potentially a stream on Sunday. No worries, man. We just started. We're only about 11 minutes into the stream. Sky Hunter, no worries, dude. This is the first stream I've been back since Sunday. I took 2 days off just to kind of enjoy myself and play some different games. But we are open, so if you guys are PlayStation, by all means, I'll get some friend requests if those have been shot towards me. I don't know if they have yet. Doesn't look like anyone wants to play with me today. I see how it is. And I know the times I stream at are kind of difficult for you UK guys. See you later to the Magic Man. And I know it's really difficult for you Aussie guys. Does YouTube have a faster playback than Twitch? I can make it faster, but I choose not to so you guys don't have any latency. No, we just started. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for people to get in here. We're gonna do some Saber. Awesome, dude. Glad you enjoyed it, Death March. Thank you, Jupiter. No worries, Stubble Bubble. No, you good? I'll be here as much as I can. No one gonna join me today? I mean, you guys gonna make me play with some blueberries? Is that what's gonna go on here? Look at all you. Look at all. I see you. I see you, Lions fan. Don't try. Outdoors man. The guys that have played with me in the past. I'm about to yell at Gooch. Hold on. Let me yell at Gooch. Good old Gooch Grinder. Let me see if I can contact him in some way without sending him a PlayStation message. Bap, are you gonna make noise? I don't know if you're gonna make noise. You didn't miss those, no. We're switching up a little bit, just a tad bit. Yeah, we're switching up and doing how we're gonna do the videos. I find the plague lands better because of quarantines, but other than that, it could be applied. It's just the lack of quarantines is the lack of Thousand Glimmer. Yeah, title. You know. What are you doing? What are you doing, Gooch? What are you just in orbit, just chilling? I'm gonna join his fire team and see what's happening. I'm gonna see what's doing. Use this little bit of time to catch up, see what's going on with people. I don't know if he's actually there. I usually stream for about 3 hours-ish, so if you're still there. If I'm still here, if 3 hours. Probably not. Probably not. Probably won't be my my patrolling method. Mainly because we've done, what is it, 1,500 patrols now? Let's see, how many patrols have we done? I think it's 1,500. Yeah, we've done 1,546. I'm kind of done with patrols. Let's see if he's even. Let's see if he's even here. I don't even know if Cody's even here. What are you doing? What are you doing, Cody? Cody. Hey. What you doing? Cody. You can. That's kind of an option that I threw in there with that, with the patrol method. You can definitely do Archon's Forge for extra engrams, but I do just keep going around. Let's see if he. I'm trying to get Cody's attention. All right. All right. So Cody's gonna join me. If you guys aren't subscribed to Split Screen, they're good friends of mine. Nope. Nothing has changed with the strange code method. Everything with my methods, anything I post on my channel, especially when it's a method to farm something, is always going to be as intended. So, like, it's never going to use an exploit to create something. I'm gonna have Cody come join me for the stream in Discord. So we're gonna have a little guest star, guys. So we're gonna pop into Discord. If you guys aren't in Discord, I will pop into my channel real quick, and then I will move him in here, and we'll have a little chit chat, talk about things with you guys, talk about things. And you're not too late. Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Trying to get Cody down in here. What up, Cody? We're gonna have some issues with the mic.
No. I just had it muted.
By the way, I'm streaming, so don't say anything that would be.
Yeah, all good.
He might be a little bit loud. I don't know. Is he too loud, guys?
Let
me know.
Pull back. I will pull back.
I'll just control you on my end. Okay. I haven't had anyone with me. Promoting the Discord server just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's in the description.
Awesome.
If you got. But yeah, let's. Did I invite you? What are we doing?
Send me
here?
another one. It just told.
Did it just,
actually? It says I'm in your fire team, but.
Did it just pull me into the tower?
It says we're together, and it says I'm the fire team leader. Hold on, I'm gonna promote you. This is really peculiar.
All right, good.
Okay.
All right, so they say he's good. So.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. I'm gonna promote you a little bit. Talk about split screen. I have mentioned it previously. Yeah, but if you guys are interested in any other games at all, I'm a bit too loud. It might be because I'm really close to the mic right now. But I know you guys are Destiny fans, but if you're interested in any other games coming out, they're covering For Honor right now. What else you cover? Neo. Well, you're going to be covering for Horizon Zero Dawn coming out. So they're going to be covering a lot of gaming news that is outside of Destiny. They're in my sub box, I believe. So if you guys want to do that, go check them out. They're just starting out. They got like, what is it, 900 now, Cody? Is that where you're at? Just not talking to me now? Cool. He doesn't want to talk to me anymore, guys.
So, how many times are we going to run Saber?
35.
Fantastic.
Probably not today, but we're going to run it 35 times. No, I'm just talking about what he does with his channel. Kind of promote him a little bit.
Yeah, we are like 9 subs away from 1,000, so that would be
Jesus Christ.
awesome.
9 subs away from 1,000. If everyone currently watching went and sub to this channel right now, let me get it in chat. You guys should go subscribe to Split Screen. They cover other games.
And
like
I have a heavy leaning towards Destiny content soon.
There you go. So he's still going to be covering Destiny, just another channel. And if you like a rusted southern accent, and some other people, some of my other friends.
No one likes that. Lately,
That's
I've
true.
been like, there are other games besides Destiny.
That's how my world is. Just send me a friend request. I will add you when I get a chance. We're going to have one blueberry.
I have For Honor, and it's like, well, I would rather just play Destiny.
Yeah, but you're also not you're not stuck with the channel that shall not be named. Let's not talk about that channel. We don't want to talk about bad channels here.
Yes, and I don't have to exclusively. You know, the freedom is nice. It's like the Dark Blade was unchained.
Fair enough. The stream, what is the stream about? Same thing it's always been about. Doing the same thing over and over again, but for science. No, we'll give you a bigger detail. We're doing 35 of every strike. We're going to knock out the Cosmodrome first, then we're going to go to the moon, then we're going to go to Venus, then we're going to go to Mars, then we're going to do the Dreadnought. And I'll do a video for every single planet that gives you guys a rundown what's going on. But in between time, it's going to take a long time to do 35 of every strike. So in between that time, we're doing streams and we're uploading the streams. Give you guys content. I'm assuming they have, they have For Honor for PS4. It's completely an option. Do we not have anyone with us? Is it just me and you?
It is because it is not in a crisis, so it's just gonna be you and I, which is fine.
Interesting. Interesting. Relevant advice for farming exotics. I do have a couple farms on my channel that talk about farming exotics. As for just in general, a general understanding, when you've got 3 of coins, after all of my projects and testing that I've done, 3 of coins are about 1 in 5. Like, it's just pretty much straightforward 1 in 5. So, pop 1, do a strike. If you get one, you get one. If you don't, you don't. And then just do that. After about 5 strikes, you're probably going to get one. And if you don't, you'll get one soon.
That's the beautiful thing about 3 of coins. They're really balanced across the board. So if you like PvP, you can do PvP, and you have essentially the same shot at exotics as anybody else. Or if you just like Prison of Elders, or whatever.
Yeah, and one thing I know I've mentioned it briefly on my channel, and like I said, I mentioned it in Discord, and this is more towards my viewers. One thing that's kind of misconstrued about 3 of coins is that there's some sort of cooldown behind them. And while there is a cooldown, it's not in the sense that you would think. Everyone sees a cooldown and thinks, oh, I can't get one after I use one if I do the same instance, right? That's how they think the cooldown works. the cooldown, at least from my testing of literally almost every aspect of this game, is that whenever you use one, it triggers a cooldown per se, but what that cooldown says is that I'm not going to increase the chance within a time frame if it's the same activity. So you have a flat 20% chance to get an exotic from a 3 of coins no matter what you do. So you could just sit there and just keep using them and using them and using them, and they're gonna be 20% chance. But if you were to do a different activity within that cooldown time, it goes up by some sort of percentage, which I personally have not nailed down yet. And I don't think I'll ever be able to nail it down as to what that flat percentage is without starting when 3 of coins released, at least when it comes to tests. I just don't think I could nail it down now. I think it's too late to do enough testing. We'll focus on those kind of things in Destiny 2, the really intense numbers. Plus, if it is on PC, that'll be a lot of data mining and I can get actual numbers. What up, Bobby? I see you there. Mr. Phenomenal, how you doing?
I'm going to start a change.org petition to get wizards removed from Destiny 2.
We don't even know if they're going to be, if there's going to be the same enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume so. I think that's going to be something that's going to let down a lot of people.
Well, there's so much lore surrounding, like, enemies that didn't quite make the cut, you know?
Yeah, I definitely...
I'm
Frog people?
I'm looking at you, moth people, and giant frogs.
Well, okay, so here's the thing with the moth people, though. I don't think that's a scrapped content, because my understanding is that the worms evolve into that.
Ooh.
That's my understanding of the lore. Yeah, from a lore
standpoint, that's pretty interesting, yeah.
That was my lore understanding. Who just subscribed? Your Black Ops 2 Hazaker? Why do you got BO2? That's not the game we're playing. You've had that name for a long time, haven't you? That's just bad luck. If you're not getting your class-based item from exotic engrams, that's just bad luck. If you just keep getting non-warlock stuff on your warlock, that's just bad RNG.
It does seem like that there was a
I'm gonna die.
buff. Yeah, it's all good. It does seem like there was a class-specific buff at some point in this game's life where you get, you know, items relegated to your class, like if you're on that character when you decrypt engrams. Because I remember it was really bad in the Vault of Glass days.
Yeah.
Where you would decrypt a legendary and you would get hunter boots and you were a warlock or, you know, whatever it may be.
If I remember correctly, that actually was the case. I remember that was like an old early on patch, if I remember right. But that was before exotic engrams. I think they just flat increased the chance of getting something that's on your class.
Yeah, well, now that I think about it, I don't know that I've ever, well, at least since the Taken King, and I'm sure that it happened prior to that, I don't believe I've ever decrypted a legendary armor engram and it be for another class.
I do actually. I've gotten it pretty regularly, but I go through exotic engrams like they're freaking nothing.
No. I mean legendaries.
Oh yeah. If it's a legendary, it's going to be on class. Legendary to exotic is going to be on class, but I think exotics are still just.
Yeah, they're kind of rando.
Oh, overshot. We're good. That's sad. Nemesis Star is an amazing exotic.
Well, Trespasser is going to be hugely popular in the Crucible meta from now on.
I've been watching the meta shift. I don't know if I was talking to you yesterday about it.
Yeah, you were.
The meta shift is crazy. Since the past, and I still believe, I believe there's a couple people that have been talking about it, talking about the meta, and I still believe that the shotgun shift in meta isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. I think it is very psychological. That people are worried that they're not going to be able to win an engagement with a shotgun, so they're more cautious with it.
Well, I'll say from my play style, and you know, I've maybe at this point done about 4 hours under the new Crucible settings with like the patch and stuff. I have gravitated more towards a sniper, and the reason for that is because I can be a little bit more cautious with my ammo, and I don't have to engage people up close where there's, you know, a little bit of risk reward there.
Yeah.
You know, the sniper is like, hey, you know, at the very least I can kind of duck out and get to a situation that is, you know, more beneficial for me or whatever.
That's one thing you could definitely do. Anytime that you're something's not going away, just blame Bungie. I blame Bungie when I'm playing Rocket League. So, just blame Bungie. It's their fault anyways. Just mix in with all the hate that's been generated towards Bungie for no reason. Like, I will never understand the, hey Bungie, I would really like to use my primaries more, and the Matador and generally shotguns in general are a little strong. Could you change that? And they asked that question for 6 months. So Bungie was like, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, hey Bungie, now that you've changed exactly what I've asked you for, could you go back? Yeah, you fucked up everything. Like that, I don't get it. I don't get the meta shift and like how people are so angry about it. I don't know if you've looked at like, you guys want to feel good about yourselves? You guys want to feel good about yourself? Go to the forums for Bungie. Go to the forums and just, if you ever feel like you're mean about something, just go read like a patch note from Bungie. And look at the comments. You'll feel so much better about yourself as not a horrible person.
And if you are the people that do that, shame on you.
That too.
The Bungie Facebook post about the update, it is just like literally the saltiest place I've ever been.
Yeah, here comes Rated Brave with his daily pun whenever he joins the stream. Today it was because something about Titans in their eyes. I've heard that one before. That's not yours. That's not original. I'm dead again.
I got you.
Oh, he didn't teleport. I'm just blind.
I'm gonna pop a 3 of coins. Actually, if we're gonna be here for a while, I'm gonna throw on a rep boost.
Fuck, I'm so bad at this game.
It's all good.
No, for real, dude, like, it's funny because like I've been like I only died like 3 times maybe over the course of like 35 epic strikes. I've died like 4 times in this strike.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the arena in this fight is sometimes your biggest enemy, and I don't know, man. Anything with shanks, I'm just like, nope.
Gotta leave at least one spot for viewers, Bobby. I mean, technically you are a viewer in this case, so I can't tell you no, but I know you. And that would be like, I told viewers after the strike I'd let them join in. Can't just be like, no, never mind, I'm just gonna invite my friends, fuck you guys. You know, you guys that support me, and like, the ones that have sent me donations from the stream, and the ones that have like watched all my videos, yeah, fuck you all. Please pick up on this arcade. Stop dying, you could do better. I'm sorry. I will say this, that whole health regen thing, the mess up they made with Cauterize is screwing me up, dude. Like, it's causing me all sorts of problems.
So, from my understanding and like speculation regarding sort of the engine of this game, a lot of perks like life support and everything, once they sort of start tweaking health regen and all of that, like, it sort of makes blanket changes across the board.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it because of the engine, and I will admit I think it's lazy coding, to be honest with you. I know that's like, oh god, the guy that plays Destiny and 2.5 years in and plays it at a non-stop grind, talking crap about the game that he likes to play. Well, there are issues with this game, and if you're jaded enough to not believe that, I think it's lazy coding. I think that health regen is if you know anything about coding, I think it's just a public string, and it's not a private string tied to each individual. I don't think Cauterize relies on a private string that says Cauterize _ health regen, right? I think they just plug in health regen as a public string, and because of that, it causes issues across the board. Anything that has health regen in this game, I think, was blanket coded with this.
It was as far that's from my understanding and like speculation from people who sort of are like, well, here is why this is this way.
They may not have the ability to fix it because of their engine, but I also think it's because when they built the engine, it was lazy, to be honest. Yes, I know about the Infinite Supers glitch, but I don't generally, at least recently, ever since Taken King, I don't try to spread those kind of things. I know exactly how it's done. I know what it takes to accomplish it, but I'm not going to spread that around.
It's just really bad for the community.
Yeah, anytime I see, like, yeah, I could get the views, be like, here's how you do Infinite Super in everything, but I don't care. It's not worth it to bring, because they just patched the game. Why bring attention to something?
Hi,
I
friends.
mean, what is that?
Hi, I'm streaming, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Alright, do you have a spot in your target team?
No, I've got a viewer with me.
Oh, you got a viewer? Okay.
I'll let you know.
Alright, what are we talking about?
Destiny in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's called constructive criticism. That's exactly what we're talking about. I guess we're just gonna have a bunch of people in here today. This is gonna not be a solo stream. I know they'll hotfix it. I know they'll hotfix it, but even if they are gonna hotfix it, there's no reason to spread it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is like you can look at it from one of two ways, like, because I don't know, at one point I was, I guess, a small time community influencer, and I tried to avoid posting the exploits and the things that I felt were damaging to the game as to not perpetuate them. But good points can also be made, you know, for that, as well as like if you post these things, perhaps they'll get fixed a little bit quicker. So
that's why I post things like that. Like in Destiny a long time ago, in the vanilla version, there's a lot of glitches, and the reason that we would post them is because we wanted to get it out there. We want to expose that to Bungie and be like, hey, this needs to be patched.
Well, you know,
just leaving it in the corner.
But this game certainly needs. There's a lot of things that this game needs that, you know, need to happen. You know, going into a sequel.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, like, a lot of people are saying, like, don't do it because it would skew the results. I'm not sure it would cause a problem with my results, per se, because I'm not doing anything that generates glimmer. I'm not doing anything that generates any sort of extra engrams.
We're talking about that super glitch that's
the super glitch that's going around, and I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna show people how to do it. I know how to do it.
It's very easy to do it, just not really. No point really in showing.
It's about timing too. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to pull off, so like I don't see it being a huge problem, but it is known, obviously. If people are coming in here with me not even posting it that are my viewers, if you guys know about it, obviously it's spread enough to get around. But I'm not going to sit there and send it to 13,000 more potential people. Like, there's no reason to do that.
Right, but would you want to let people know that don't know about it, basically? Maybe
no, I don't want to spread it. Like, I'm just gonna.
I disagree with you there, but then again, we both have different opinions on the matter.
Yeah. Like, I understand exactly why it gets spread, because, like, I understand, like, the nature of your channel. Like, you post a bunch of glitches to Call of Duty Zombies because inevitably they get fixed, and then you go out and find another one, and, like, because, like, if you go back, if you looked at, like, Black Ops 3, for example,
right,
that's gonna be, like, it would be a much different game if none of those glitches got posted. Like, and I'm not saying just specifically because of your channel, but in general.
No, it's because of multiple channels that are glitchers.
A community effort.
Yes, it's a community effort, but I feel like glitching on a channel is kind of like playtesting a game without going into the actual company itself to find those
absolutely,
glitches.
absolutely. Like I said, I get why you do it. I'm just not going to spread it anymore because my stuff is more based on the scientific nature of the game, and like I want to keep it with that. I don't want to sit there and be like, okay guys, I did 35 strikes, right? And if people came in and asked me how long did it take me to do this epic set, and I was like, oh, it took me about 4 to 6 hours of actual playtime. If I sat there and I did the super glitch right now because I could, right, it would speed up the time it took. And it would distort my ability to say, like, you can accomplish this same feat if you played 12 hours. Because everything on my channel...
Yeah, this is why I don't recommend, since you're a scientific type of channel, you want to know the stats, legit stats of the matter, and you don't want to do the glitches. I totally understand that. I don't, like, say that you should do it. You shouldn't show people how to do it. But altogether, it's just... In my opinion, I do glitches. I'd show how to do it. But since you're a different type of channel on Destiny, and you show the stats, then I would say I respect your opinion based on why you don't do it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people in chat, because I'm also going to be focusing on chat. Like, people are saying that it would be faster, and I agree. It's faster. There's no reason. Like, I'm just not gonna do those kind of things. Like, let's say in Destiny 2, right? Something comes out. If it's a fun glitch, or if it's just something like Destiny 2 comes out, I'm gonna show you guys wall breaches and stuff. I'll do stupid little videos about wall breaches or getting out of areas and seeing areas in a different light, because it's not going to affect something. But the second I get out of an area and it causes me to get more loot than what is intended, I'm no longer gonna post that content.
So game-breaking glitches is what you're not going to post, but what you are going to post is out-of-map glitches is what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's just in general like how I am. Like,
harmless exploits.
Would you think a cheese is a harmless exploit as well?
Not early on. Yes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would be lying to any of my viewers if I told them that I never posted a detrimental exploit to my channel, because I have in the past. Like, I've been covering Destiny since pretty much day one, and have I posted detrimental things? Have I supplemented in the spread of some glitches? Absolutely, but I'm never going to sit there and, at least anymore, not gonna do it.
Well, Kaizen, you're calling me out for glitching, and you're saying it doesn't get views. Come on, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Tether Sparrow bug. What is that?
Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm not gonna say, like, again.
Is that the supers glitch?
No. I mean, that's just like I don't know. Like, there's so many different. Okay, there's ways to do it. One of which is to do it with the Sparrow. I'm not going to tell you how to do it with Sparrow. I know chat's going to be like, this is how you do it, and whatever. You guys can spread it, but I'm not going to.
Hey, will you ask chat if there's any Crucible projects they would like to see? Because I totally would be available for that
you
next
could
week.
you could ask chat that. They could hear you. No, but, like, I'll relay any information.
Yeah, we'll, try to do a couple hundred games of a particular game mode, see what kind of drops we get. Maybe 200 Trials of Osiris matches drops or something.
That's a lot of freaking. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna focus on my thing. But if you want to hop in on that on the board,
in Trials or anything, Matt, you're just gonna end up hating your life playing.
Oh, I know.
Because you cannot play one Crucible match without screaming and.
Oh yeah,
shouting.
That's why. That's another thing.
We had a good time trying to complete the record book on my other account with you. You had some moments. You had your moments.
Cody, what are your thoughts on like glitches in general, like in Destiny, in terms of, because like
we got me and Matt's side. We don't know what about your side. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, like I was telling Matt earlier, whether I liked it or not, I was a community influencer. Like, I had a bit of power to influence what at least 100,000 people that had subscribed did, and I chose not to, because there were exploits, and I chose not to post those simply because I didn't want to perpetuate it any further. Because at the end of the day, like, I play this game, and for example, like the unlimited tether, I mean, that spread really quickly, but I could have contributed and helped it spread more quickly, but I chose not to do that because at the end of the day, I have to play the game and I have to deal with it. And
It's because it's because of like back then when that used to be the same issue. We had we had that issue a long time ago. You guys remember that? It was like Taken King days. We had the unlimited Sunbreaker and Tether. And all
that was how we beat. That's how we beat Taken King. That's how we did it the first time.
That kind of ruined the game for me. That ruined the expansion for me because of just how easy it was to just, hey, I'm just gonna press L1, L2, and just spam it and just throw it against the wall and shit like that.
Man, to be fair, that hammer spam glitch was like super funny.
Oh, it was dope, dude. It was hella dope. I loved it. But yeah, 200 trials? That doesn't seem like a lot.
Not 200 flawless, by the way. And a lot of guys are saying, holy crap, you guys are doing, you're getting informed to all of my friends, right? All of my friends are grinders like myself. All of them are.
I'll do 200 trials, but I'm not going to do 200 flawless. I haven't gone flawless once.
The thing is like, I have another account with 400s, and I'm literally playing on this account just because I want to play Destiny, and I have no reason to on my other account.
Right.
Like, that's the whole thing. I really, really enjoy this game, and you sometimes just have to have a reason to play it. Well, we're gonna nuke real quick.
Like eventually I'm gonna go back to my roots. I'm gonna play Destiny again because you know what? That's my game. That's how I started. It's how I'm gonna play the shit. Gonna go back and Destiny 2 should be a fun blast. Destiny 2 should be fun.
Oh, absolutely. Was that 2 runs by the way, Cody?
It is. That's 2 runs, 2 chest opens.
Are you still with
both total garbage?
I don't care about the chest opens. I still don't. Yeah. I'm gonna keep running. I try to run with viewers. Generally, I don't even have like Cody with me. Usually, it's just straight just me.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll chill. Let
me edit some stuff real quick here.
200 flawless would require you to go flawless, and that would be like Cody, Clicks, and somebody else to go flawless 200 times. That would take a long time.
Well, the thing is like
that sounds terrible. That sounds like a terrible time.
And the problem is like, everyone's like 200 flawless would be insane amount of views though. Yet you guys are so concerned about views, and like I don't push views ever. Like when I got 160,000 on my Strange Coins video, I posted that expecting like 3K. Like real talk, I expected like 3,000 at best. I thought it was going to do better than my other videos, not 160,000 views better than my other videos.
Hashtag you've changed.
But that's just how YouTube is nowadays. I remember back when we did Destiny, Matt, and it was like House of Wolves, and your fucking Ghost, your Dead Ghost video got like 100K as well. I was like, okay, so how did mine get 10K or 20K? Yours just got 100K out of the bat. It's just like, you're just finding 3 ghosts on the map, and you're just like, huh, YouTube, you're entertaining. You're interesting sometimes, man.
I know how.
Exotic Sharded, you can stick around for a little bit. That's generally how I go with things. To give you an idea of what's going on and what the goal is, we've already done Sepix, and we're now working on Saber, and we're going to do each strike on a planet. Then I'm going to post a video on the results, each strike being done 35 times. Then we're going to move to another planet, continue, create a baseline for Destiny 2.
For some reason, I feel like this is a podcast. Like
it kind of turned into a podcast a little bit, which is interesting. It did kind of turn into a podcast stream, but we're just playing video games and talking about stuff.
I'm enjoying this. I definitely am enjoying this. We all take turns discussing our side and our thoughts and everything and our opinions. It's fun.
Yeah, and I've talked about it a couple times, and I know I've talked to you, Coda. I know I've talked to Cody about it. There's some, and I know I talk about Path of Exile all the time. Like, all the time. I mention it all the time because that's a game I play a lot outside of this game. And there's so many things from that game. There's so many things from that game that I wish were somehow even slightly implemented into Destiny.
Like what would you think they should add to Destiny from Path of Exile? What are your thoughts on it?
Basically, well, one, the ability to, okay, so right now, right, if you look at our difficulties of strikes, right, if we look at our difficulties of strikes, we have the whatever base level it is. So if it's Sepix, it's level 8, for this strike, it's 36. You have your base level. Don't you dare do it. I see you. What are you doing? I'm not moving you in Discord. No, I don't trust you.
Don't.
Go away.
Hey. This is a quiet podcast.
Oh my god. This is turned into I'm not ever doing this again unless people really enjoy this.
This is a fucking meme cast, bro.
It's the meme cast. That's our name.
Cast.
But as I was saying,
Starring Patrick dragging me into Discord.
as I was saying, no. We have our difficulties. We have 320, we have 350, we have Nightfall, and that's our strike difficulty. And I guess you could include the raid as PvE content. Those are our difficulties. That's the only difficulties we have. I want a difficulty that is maxed out. Like, I want it maxed. I want a 400 light strike difficulty. Or a 390 even. I don't care. Something towards very end game. If you're referencing Destiny itself. But if we're talking about Destiny 2, we don't know how it's going to work. But let's just use Destiny as a reference.
Wouldn't that be a problem if that was launched, considering that not many that Destiny players at the launch of Rise of Iron weren't 400. We're at like
that's fine.
Nearly 380.
That's what you need for end game though. Like that's the whole huge issue.
Okay,
with this
but
game.
there's more to it that I want though, right? Okay. I want to be able daily to I want it to be a daily, but also a playlist. In the daily, it rewards you some consumable. I don't care what it's called. Bungie can come up with the name. Make it make sense in the lore, whatever. You already 3 coins aren't even like lore based. They're non-canonical. Like they don't exist.
I don't know why they exist.
They don't. They don't exist in the lore. 3 of coins do not exist in the lore anywhere. They put them in to make the game easier.
It's to get exotics faster, basically.
But yeah, I know. But but you could add something to the game, and the daily has set modifiers, and it just rolls between random modifiers. It rolls a random strike. The daily is random. You do it. If you complete it, you get this consumable. You can save up those consumables or use them. I don't care how if you want to do 1 per day for a week, you now have 7 of them. So.
One thing I did have a problem with it was that loot drops were really bad. Like when Rise of Iron dropped, I didn't like the loot drops in the raid. I thought they were very mediocre drops. They weren't the best.
But no, with that consumable, then when you're in the playlist, you can re-roll the modifiers. They're still going to be random, but you can at least re-roll them to some other modifier in the playlist that is tied to your fire team. That's what I want. So I want controllable difficulty at endgame that is endgame content.
A raid with modifiers would be really interesting.
Not even a raid with modifiers. I'm just talking like an endgame strike.
Oh no. I know. I'm just saying like
they could totally add like end game seasons where your gear resets.
That's another thing that I would want in this game is a season per se.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I definitely want a season where
that would add so much because now currently your clans, they don't really mean anything outside of a couple of trophies and achievements. But see, for example, if you could have you set a cap on that and you set say 3 times 7 or something, 3 or 7 fire teams of 3 people, and that's your clan cap. And you guys start out with completely fresh gear in a season, and it runs for a month or something.
That sounds like leagues.
And you guys try to essentially do, whether it be strike scoring or whatever, try to set a sort of a clan record.
I honestly think that okay, so here's the thing on that, right? Let's say you do this, right? And the first let's say I don't know how many people. Let's say there's let's say 1,000. The first 1,000 people per console, per league, right? They're not getting any beneficial, but I think there should be an alternate art.
Cosmetics.
No, an alternate art. Exotic. So yes, cosmetics. So Twilight Garrison looks like this, but what if you did a league and you're a Titan, and you could choose an alternate art Twilight Garrison because you got first 1,000 in the world for your console to 400.
Basically a gift for being the top 1,000.
Yeah, and then have other things that are rewarded based on just how far you got in the season. So maybe let's use the Twilight Garrison as an example, or the Iron Gallahorn is a prime example of, yes, it was a pre-order, but they could have done it in a much better way. They could have implemented seasons or leagues or whatever, right? I don't care what you call it. And in order to get it, you had to get 400 in a season. You get light level 400 in a season, boom, you now have an Iron Gallahorn. That would have been such a better way of doing it. That Galahorn is no better than any other Galahorn. It's not any different than the original one.
Do you think they dumbed down a lot of the stuff just because
console? Yes.
Because console? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I absolutely think that this game was dumbed down because it was going to be on console.
Yeah, I feel like if this was like a game for just PC, it would have been so much different.
Not even just PC. I think if there would have been a PC community at launch and they didn't include old gen consoles, if there was no 360 and PS3 at launch, there was no legacy consoles. And I don't know if anyone here is playing with legacy consoles. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have. It shouldn't have existed.
You should upgrade right now, please. Upgrade,
it shouldn't have existed.
That's the thing of the past. Just move on already.
Destiny would have been a much different game if it wasn't on old gen.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely fucked that side of Destiny up. The fact that they had to go back to old gens and like support that. They shouldn't have. They should have been like, nope, new gen. And
well, that's I think that's purely an Activision decision, to be fair.
And you say, to be like, I know this is probably a little bit ago because I haven't been paying attention to the chat, but someone said to be honest, I wouldn't mind exotic variations from loot boxes. I still do not like the way microtransactions are handled in this game. I hate it. There's so many better ways to do it.
I wouldn't pay 500 silver for anything, dude. No thanks.
I would rather it be something that I worked towards to get. I would rather earn an Iron Galahorn or, I don't know, a Bronze Mida. I don't care what you do with it. Like, I would rather earn those things by getting 400 in a league-based thing.
I kind of like Vanilla Destiny. Vanilla Destiny, when it first came out, was great. I feel like it was good.
Okay, so people... I still feel like that's a nostalgia thing, and people want the grind from that. I think that it's just been overdone. Like, Destiny's a very easy game. I will tell you right now, I feel Destiny's a very easy game.
Anybody can pick up the controller and be like, yeah, I can get to level 29 in, like, I don't know, this many days. Yeah, they should really fix the armor system though, but they did with light, so it's good.
I'm interested in any feedback on how you think loot boxes should work. So go, like, this is open for discussion. I know I'm generally talking to my friends here and kind of having like a weird little podcast stream thing going on.
I'm watching the chat as well. I want to hear this. I want to hear what they should be like.
And I agree that I have tons of ideas of how to fix 3 of Coins and how 3 of Coins should work and why I think they're okay, but I think they're also broken in a sense.
Okay, we're just going to ignore the fact that Saber teleported on top of me.
We're going to ignore the fact that he teleported.
Yeah, I've never seen that, and I just saw him do it again to you, and I'm pretty positive that it wasn't lag-related.
No, it was not lag-related.
I'm pretty sure we just did way too much damage, and he was like, I'm coming for you. No, he's going straight lawnmower.
It's fine.
Straight lawnmower mode. All the jokes we had for this game was amazing.
Okay, I could see that being a thing. Okay, I'm okay with that version of it. Saying that you,
That's a very good, look at it, too.
Makes challenge strikes, and those that fill the XP bar and get loot boxes for variations, but you can buy them also. I don't like that second part. But you cannot buy them also. I don't like the but you can buy them also part. I feel like everything in this game should be earned.
Yeah, why do you have to buy stuff? Like, I wouldn't.
I mean, I understand like people that like them. I know people like the whole like let's gamble about it, right? But I feel like that's not how it should be.
I don't feel like games like that should be. You should have to buy things. Like, I don't think we're going back to Path of Exile. You earn your shit, and if you get lucky, it's RNG, right? But like, I don't think you should buy it. You should buy things.
We also have a slot, by the way, guys. So if anyone wants to fill that slot, looking for a subscriber more than. Sorry, Coda.
No, I'm not even on. I'm not even playing. I'm just chilling here, having a great time.
All right, we're gonna go over what I think should happen with 3 of Coins. I think 3 of Coins should be a tiered system that doesn't. 3 of Coins need to be nerfed down to about half as effective as they are, but still be called 3 of Coins. And I think there needs to be like a one. Again, names are subjective, but I think it should be a 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and then something slightly above it. And each one progressively gets stronger, and you earn them from either turning in lesser value ones. So let's say 5 1 of coins becomes a 3 of coin. 5 3 of coins become a 5, so on and so forth. And the end one, the 9 of coins, or whatever you want to call it, I don't care, is currently as effective as the 3 of coins that exist.
That would make a grind so much easier, to be honest.
I don't think they should be gotten rid of. I think they just need to be totally changed. I think they just need to be revamped. They were put in to sate the need for exotics because exotics were very rare, but I think that they need to be kept in the game to keep the flow of exotics.
I feel like exotics need to be rare though. Like that should be like a thing. You should feel good when you get an exotic. You shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, another exotic, cool, whatever.
I feel like it should take 25 3 of coins to get a 9 of coin per se. Again, names are semantics. I don't care about names. And that 9 of coins is as effective as the current one. That's what I think should happen. And I don't think they should be earned from Xur either. And I don't think they should be a Nightfall drop. I think they should be earned randomly at about the rate that I think the lowest tier one, whatever the lowest tier one is. That feeling when you got that feeling when you got an exotic in year 1 wasn't a feeling of the fact that it was exotic. It was a relief of a grind.
It was a payoff. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember. Also, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody in the stream that did go sub to Split Screen. We just crossed 1,000 subscribers, so that's awesome.
Congratulations, dude.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's been a great couple months. But anyways, yeah, it was more just like a payoff of, here you've been grinding for so many hours, and now, I mean, I remember my first exotic, and I remember how excited I was when I got it, and, ideally it wasn't what I had wanted from an exotic because I saw some of my friends, they had got other things, but I used it and it was my most used weapon in year 1. Because if you remember, Bungie did that thing where you would see sort of your, I guess, moments of triumph or whatever. Yeah, so I got a patience and time, a couple weeks into launch. I think and I used the crap out of it.
All right.
Was that for the moment of triumph?
No, it was like I remember what you're talking about though.
Yeah, you would go to their website and you would put in your gamer tag and it would say, hey, you went flawless this many times. And
I thought it would be like you just get an emblem from the moments of triumph. I don't remember.
No. It wasn't called Mount. Yeah. I just plugged it in, boys. I just plugged it in. I just plugged in my controller. Sorry.
It was Your Legend, is what it was called.
That's what it was called. It was called Your Legend. I remember that.
Okay.
That was after. That was a transition to the Taken King.
Okay. I understand now.
I absolutely agree on the complete economy rehaul or overhaul. Like, there's so many things that I wish I could sit down, right, and have influence with Bungie on what I said, because I could give them. And again, my opinion is probably vastly different, and like where I want it to go could be vastly different than the 30 of you that are here. I feel like this game isn't enough of a grind. I feel like this game needs, and I also feel like people feel like exotics need to be rare. I don't think that's the case. I don't think exotics need to be rare. I just think that it needs to be a sink. There's not enough of a sink right now. So, like, there's Glimmer's capped at 25,000. That's a problem. There's no, I'm an advocate for player trading, but I have a way that I feel like it should be done, and it would totally remove Glimmer from the game, or at least from player trading. I feel like every bit of currency should have a community-based value. So I think like a Stranger coin should be worth something more than going out and buying an exotic.
We're gonna get a vast majority of a different game this year for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I hope. I hope.
Let's hope to God that they bring the grind back into the game, because there is no grind as of right now. Like, I can hop into a new character and like be like 370 or something by just using what is it called? Spark of Light? One of those? Like, those shouldn't be in the game.
I understand those though, because the end game is what this is. I don't think player trading would start a black market if the only currency in the game was actual currency in the game. And I'm talking like trading
like chaos?
But I'm talking trading like 1,000 weapon parts for something. And also an issue of this game is it doesn't have syncs. There's no syncs to anything. You say there's only 60 exotics, so I feel they should be rare. I feel like exotics should be used for something, whether it be recipes for other things. You need to join, Bobby. I tried to move you, but you're not in a chat. I can't move you if you're not in a chat.
You know, here's my concern, because I've spent the last year speculating about Destiny 2 and talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be fantastic, because Destiny, from what it was, I mean, I have the fondest memories of year one, but it's a lot of the nostalgia and everything. But I think overall, all of the progression that they've made with the Taken King and Rise of Iron and the live updates, you know, I think that they've progressively moved it to where it's a much more cohesive and good product. I'm just concerned that, like, expectations may be too high initially, kind of like they were at launch, you know, and that's something that kind of worries me a little bit. I think that, you know, I think it's going to be awesome, but, like, I hope that we don't get too overzealous with, like, you know, I want to see it be open world, because I know that they said that they were talking about maybe doing, like, outposts and, you know, things like that. So I'm assuming it's going to be a much more open world style of game.
More planets. There needs to be more planets.
Well, not necessarily more planets, but, you know, for example, give me a play space that is much larger.
That is worth your time, basically, is what you're saying. Like, worth there. Like, you're gonna be in that area for a reason.
I don't understand this. I don't understand the separation of planets. I feel like we should cover just one planet in a game, but more extensively, more areas. We don't need just a Cosmodrome. I feel like we needed to cover more of Earth and the Cosmodrome in general before we moved on and explored the story of the moon.
Well, I mean, if you think about it narratively, it would have made a ton of sense story-wise to sort of, you divide the story where the Vex, you know, I don't even think the Vex should have been touched on in the original vanilla game. You take the Crota story and you take the Oryx story, and you have the Crota story be sort of the canonical thing in the first game. That's what it should have been. You know, the Hive is assaulting Earth, and sort of the Fallen are here or whatever. And, you know, it leads up to the raid, which is Crota's End, where you actually do go to the moon, because that thematically makes sense. You know, the Earth and Earth's moon are very, you know, close together. And then your first DLC could have been, you know, you go to the Dreadnought, and now you face Crota's father. And then I just think that would have made a ton more sense.
I feel
it needed to be larger, though. That's the problem.
Activision's doing for that situation, though.
Well, I mean, it's totally Activision's fault, and anybody that tells you otherwise is either just being dishonest about it. Because I mean, the thing that frustrated me the most about this game, and the thing that still kind of leaves a bad taste, you know, in my opinion about this game, is the cut content at launch. You know, the fact that DLC areas were glitched into and they were finished. They just didn't have, you know, spawns for you know, enemies and things like that. So
I don't think that they should have cut the DLC and just like cut it into DLC. You know what I mean?
But,
like,
I mean, I loved, you know, don't get me wrong, I loved The Dark Below and House of Wolves are both great. But then you look at the substantial content updates like the Taken King, and you know, it's hard to justify to the year one people who bought the season pass that, like, they didn't kind of get screwed on money.
Do you think those areas should have been on launch?
I mean, I
Taken
think
King
so.
area.
I don't think
Taken
King should have been.
No. I think that the House of Wolves stuff and
so Crota's End and House of Wolves, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a good chance that if this game would have came out to compete with like Grand Theft Auto 5, there's a good chance this game would have launched with 2 raids.
Okay, I want to kind of touch on something that people have been talking about in chat, because I do want to let them know that I do realize that they are still there. one of the biggest comments about player trading, I know we were talking about that a ways back, was that it would form a black market. You could sell the Outbreak Prime for $20, real money, whatever. You could never prevent that sort of thing, right?
I mean, that already happened.
That already happens, and that's without player trading, right? But here, if it became more readily available, and people sell flawless trials, that's another thing people sell, and all of these things are against terms of service. They absolutely are. Selling a feature of a game is against terms of service, and they have been taken down and will be continued to taken down as time goes on. You will never outwin those kind of things, right? And people will do those kind of things, but this goes back to, and again, I keep talking about Path of Exile, right? I keep talking about it and how it works and how it functions. That company, first of all, their game is free to play, and honestly has more content than Destiny. Two totally different games, can't really compare them. You can't. One's an action RPG. You can't compare the two games. But the way they fight player trading as a black market, right, and people selling it for actual money, is because everything is readily available to everyone. They don't make it so convoluted to get things. And because of the ease of getting the currency in game, right, that it's very easy. Okay, so one of my biggest hits on my channel, and you guys come in here and appreciate it all the time, 200 strange coins a week, right? Let's say, before I posted that video, player trading was a thing in Destiny, and people were selling Gallarhorns for 200. Let's say they were selling them for 200 strange coins, player to player. And then my thing came out. It wouldn't be like, oh, I'll just buy it for real money. It would then instead fluctuate the price of Gallarhorns to make them worth more. And I'm saying Gallarhorns because it was a coveted item in year one, right? I know it's a quest item now, but I know it was a coveted item in year one. So let's say my strange coin method makes sense in year one when everyone wanted the Gallarhorn. If I put out my 200 strange coins a week and something was priced at 200 strange coins, the only thing that would happen early on, all of you guys would buy up all the Gallarhorns for 200, right? You'd be like, oh my god, I can get 200 this week, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of Gallarhorns. And then people will realize that everyone's buying them for 200, and the prices would just go up, and then you could turn around and sell them for 300. Yeah, of course. Is there going to be someone out there that's going to try to sell it for 20 bucks? Absolutely. Is there people that then take my strange coin method and sell 200 strange coins for real money? Absolutely. It's going to happen. None of that is ever preventable. That's not going to be preventable ever. But if something is readily available, so much so, and the currency for those items are made readily available, such as strange coins as being, let's say that strange coins are the go-to currency for player trading, and again, it could be anything, exotic shards, glass needles, I don't care what the go-to currency is. If you make those things readily available, no one's going to spend real money on something that they could easily obtain getting.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $20 for an Outbreak Prime. That's stupid.
I know people do.
I understand that, like, okay, you can't just hop into an LFG and just go do it real quick, right? Like, you could easily do that, but the problem with that is, like, to go to another website to pay $20 for it? Come on, man, no.
I'll just throw this out here. I'll throw this out there. If any of you have ever considered buying a Outbreak Prime because you can't find anyone doing the raid,
please
let us know. Because you do
we're not gonna let you waste $20 on that.
You're not paying 20 bucks for something. So if you've ever considered something like that, somehow, some way, whether it be in Discord or something, I'm not going to try to make it a regular service because then that's all my stream will become, and I don't want that to be primarily my stream. But if that's generally a problem for someone, they're like, if you even considered it,
I wish that I was effective enough of a trials player to just consistently carry people.
I'll take that $20 and donate to Matt's stream. That's literally what I'll do with that $20 instead of paying for that Outbreak Prime.
I just wish that I was consistently good enough to carry people, because I would make it a personal goal every weekend to carry as many people as possible for free, just to kind of cut down on the scumbag sort of paid carry service.
Dude, I
just find it reprehensible. I think that it's one of the worst aspects of the game, and
I didn't know that aspect of the game even existed. I didn't even know that those websites existed.
Oh yeah, no, carry sites are a huge issue, and they have been for quite
And
some
they've been
time.
and they've been
Your
fighting
mic's
them.
fucked, Kai, by the way.
Oh,
Go on, Matt.
hold up.
That's been a thing though, because like I honestly believe a lot of like why streamers have gravitated towards trial carries is to actually fight it. Like I honestly think
great,
that,
and I find that
That's awesome.
I find that incredibly awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, because nobody wants to see somebody lose $20 or get scammed even, because you can easily get scammed from something like that.
Oh no, I mean,
Get scammed.
I think like the going rate for flawless carries is, I mean, definitely like 60 or better.
I mean, if
And
you
I've
sell,
seen some that are like 100.
I'm gonna say, weren't the last time we were talking about it was at 100 or like?
if you
150?
sell flawless
Yeah.
run, you're a scumbag. That's
Yeah,
all
that
I'm
is-
gonna say. You're an absolute scumbag if you're gonna sell flawless runs or outbreak primes. It's stupid.
they're so easily obtainable, and it's just you have to have a team that can do it. Those things are so easy to do. When we discovered Outbreak Prime was a thing, and when all of us were playing Destiny regularly, there was a point in time where it was like me, Cody, Bobby, and like Patrick when King's Fall came out. But when we discovered Outbreak Prime, I don't know how many people we got Outbreak Prime for. It was probably like 30 people in that first week that we
Yeah,
just
I
took
started-
random people.
Yeah, it was like me, and then I helped Matt get it, and then I helped Clicks get it, and then I think
It just
we
trickled
all
down.
got to, like a 3. Yeah, we all ended up getting it because we ended up helping each other.
Yeah, I went
And
so
that's-
far as to learn to read the monitors just to help people.
Oh
Because-
yeah, dude, that was great, dude. And
'Cause
we
the
did
thing
like an
is
entire
now-
stream and shit.
You know, now we look back at the Outbreak Prime and we're like, yeah, I probably would never dedicate the exotic slot to that weapon. But at the time, you know, it was highly desirable and it was easily attainable if you just kind of knew
If you
what you
actually
were
did
doing.
it, you actually
Yeah,
did
if
it.
you just took the time to learn the mechanics and get it done.
I guarantee you, if you were on LFG that one day when it first came out, boom, you would have gotten it. You would have
Yeah,
had it.
and that's the thing, like, it was a challenge. I understand it's still a hard challenge for some people. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about how many, you know, I've done the raid. I probably did the raid, what, 30, 40 times on launch week? Like, for not
There is
loot?
a lot. You know, there's another thing. There's a lot of tutorials out there that teach you how to do it too.
Yeah.
And that's what really helps you. It's like if it wasn't for those tutorials, then I understand. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I have to go online and pay this, whatever. No, you don't do that. You have tutorials there to teach you guys how to do this certain quest.
Hey,
So that way you guys can get the exotic Outbreak Prime. But
did you guys see the new Destiny toys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 10,000
Dude, they look
yeah.
so cool.
they look really
Yeah,
interesting.
to explain Project Cosmodrome, we're doing every strike on the Cosmodrome 35 times, and then I'll do a video, and then we'll do the moon, then I'll do a video, and then I'll do Venus, and then do the video. And then as for someone also asked, like, what is everyone's thoughts on Infusion?
Ooh, okay.
I hated the like. I like how it works now. I also enjoyed it before when it was like, you know, if I had something that was 400 and I threw it into a 380, you know, I would get like a 390 or something. Like, I also enjoyed that method. I do like the fact now that, like, if I have a perfect god rolled weapon and I can just throw something else in it that I'm not using, I mean, I think that's, you know, really, really cool. And I a lot of times just infuse armor for cosmetic reasons because, you know, fashion guardians.
Personally,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
pretty
like
much
it.
whatever. That's what pretty much every MMORPG turns into is fashion.
I didn't like the infusion. I don't really find a reason to infuse anything really. It's just like okay, you want to infuse this into this, and you get a higher damage weapon of that weapon.
I feel like it was a time
kind
stretch.
of ruins it. It kind
feel
of
like
ruins the grind, honestly.
I think it was intended. I think it was implemented purely to get it to where the game was longer. Like, I honestly think that's why it was implemented. I think it was purposely implemented to make the game longer. I feel like doing endgame content should get you progressively better gear. That's fine, but I don't think it should have been in the form of light level. I think light level should be an inherent thing, and I think gear should just have like eye levels hidden within.
Yeah, that was a
Sort of
stupid idea.
where your gear becomes your level, like a lot of other games do, where
Yes.
You know, it's dependent upon your stat rolls, how many of those stat rolls you have, what perks you have, etc. That sort of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You
I
know
would
what
rather
Infusion did ruin, and the chat definitely said it. They said that the infusion system has completely gotten rid of the raid weapons. I highly agree with that.
Okay, here's the issue. Okay, so like I agree with that statement, sort of, right? It got rid of the usefulness and how coveted raid weapons were, right? That's fine. But it also, if you remember year one, if you weren't wearing either full Iron Banner gear or full raid gear, you weren't max level. And that was a huge issue as well.
That was a dumb system too. Forever 29 was a dumb mistake as well. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't just put on gear and just already be like up another light level. That's
Well,
stupid.
the one thing that Infusion did that I think people fail to take into account is that it was kind of a shot in the arm for the PvP community in kind of a good way and sometimes in a bad way. You know, because like the raid weapon, the viability of raid weapons were, you know, they were great, but they still weren't necessarily geared towards PvP. And with Infusion, you know, if you kept that sort of max damage to raid weapons, you know, then you don't necessarily have as much of a balanced sort of playing field of options in Crucible.
I understand what you're trying to say, but I feel like raid weapons shouldn't be in PvP. Like I feel like there should be actual weapons in that raid weapons shouldn't be in PvP. I think like there still should be dedicated weapons for PvP and dedicated weapons for PvE.
But that'll pretty much never.
Yeah, it'll
happen.
never happen. But like, you know, that's what would be good.
Yeah, Bungie are very adamant on everything being like, you know, this is your guardian, these are your things, you can take them anywhere with you.
Okay, so to kind of give you a feeling of what's going on, Natty, because I know you just got here. Initially, it was just going to be me and Cody, and then like a bunch of my friends joined in the Discord, and now we're just talking Destiny stuff.
Now we're
that's
doing
what's going.
a podcast, so enjoy.
Yeah, turning kind of a podcast.
The AMSOR
All right, you fucking
podcast.
nerds. Before I don't get my word in, hello everybody, nice to meet you. I've been here for the last 15 minutes, just listen to you fuckers babble on. I'm here to put my input in, then I'm fucking out of here. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, as you know, obviously, I'm a huge Division player. I fucking love Division. Division, like I said, has been completely revitalized since 1.2, 1.3, something like that, which is basically, like I said last night, what it did for Diablo 3, which I don't really know much about, where I guess it started raining loot or something like that. That's essentially what happened with Division. Now, over time, they've been updating the loot system, and basically it's completely revitalized the game and completely changed how you get loot, where you get loot from, and what activities you can do to get loot, all that sort of good shit. But one thing that they did with this last update is now once you reach level 30, how basically it works in Destiny, you reach level 30 or 40, I guess now, and you level up, you just get what, 5 motes of light or something like that, which is a pretty bullshit reward that
And
does
5 strength
pretty
points.
much nothing for you. But how it works in Division is whenever you level up, you get like a something cache. I forget the name of it, but you get a cache, and it's a loot box that has 4 items in it. There are 4 items that are just pretty much average everyday, either legendary or I guess the game's version of not exotics, but the yellows, whatever the fuck they are. I can't remember. Yeah. It's essentially Destiny's legendary. But I think if Destiny picked up a system sort of like that, in which every time that you leveled up, you just got a few random items, and they just made it a little harder to level up. They made that gap in between, you know, however long it takes you to level up a bit bigger, and they just gave you a random cache or loot box or something at the end of it to get some free loot out of, and maybe potentially an exotic, but a very low chance of. But I mean, that's not how it works in Division. You have no chance of getting an exotic out of that. But how Division's exotic system works is also completely different. Exotics in Division are somewhat exotic, but at this point, they're not very exotic. And that's what they plan on working on with the next update. The thing is right now, exotics are just kind of a thing that exists in the game. Nobody really uses them, and they're not really special. They don't really have anything about them that's like, oh, I gotta have that gun. Like the Galahorn has wolf packs. Suros has whatever fucking gay slow firing perk that is. Patience in time turns you invisible. Every exotic has something special about it, and that's what makes exotics exotic in Destiny. But what they're working on with the next update is basically making exotics exotic, and they're making you have 2 weapons equipped, like 2 of the same weapons. It's called like the Valkyria or something like that, and it gives you 2 different perks on each weapon, and it kind of like compliments you for using them. And every weapon is working to be more special and more usable. Because right now, like I said, there's maybe 1 or 2 that are actually worth like being in a weapon slot. But I mean, I think it's a pretty big change that they would need to make, and it would completely overhaul the economy. But Division's loot system, I think, is actually amazing, and I think that Bungie could learn a lot of things from them, honestly. But that's just my opinion. Everybody else can.
What's the company that makes Division? Is it Ubisoft?
It's massive. It's technically Ubisoft. It's like Bungie versus. It's Activision is Ubisoft to Bungie is to Massive. Yeah, and I didn't. By the way, guys, I didn't quit the project. I just gave it a name. That's all that happened, and we're more directed. So, no quitting of projects. Nothing changed. We're just doing it in a more structured manner.
You already did 50 setbacks.
35.
35.
Hey, so what is everybody's favorite exotic perk on a weapon?
That's a damn good question right there.
Favorite exotic perk
on a weapon, only on a weapon.
I
don't care about armor. Armor's for plebs.
I was gonna say armor because I think one of my favorite perks is on a piece of armor, but I can think of.
Man, I don't know. Matt's gonna say Twilight Garrison.
Yeah, I was gonna say Twilight Garrison, but
yeah, and that's why. Wait a minute. That's why I didn't want to do armor because I mean,
I'm just thinking armor myself, like the helmets, for example.
I don't know. I would say
you've got Wolfpack rounds on Galley. You know, you got
that bird on Thor.
That kind of leads to another thing that a lot of things are forgettable when it comes to exotic perks on weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't think about exotic perks.
Like the only one that's really prevalent is Galahorn's Wolfpack rounds. I mean, Nemesis Star has an okay perk on it, but like
it's like a legendary perk. It's nothing.
Yeah, and then like a lot of people are saying Icebreaker's explosion rounds, and again, but there's so few that are so focused. Like there's not very many that you can be like,
Red Death is fantastic.
Yeah, Red Death isn't bad.
It's not that bad.
Patience and Time's Invisibility is cool if you're a Titan or a Warlock or whatever.
Sleeper's Bouncy Lasers, that's another one. Sleeper's Lasers is one from chat.
One of my favorite ones that I never hear anybody talk about is the last word, and how you get shit talking messages sent to you if you use it in Crucible.
Yeah,
the intrinsic.
I literally asked that question just to tell that joke.
It's called
the
perk is called Salt.
Yeah, it's salt rounds.
Salt.
I don't know.
And I will be going back to Valis when I get to Mars.
He's still on Earth, guys.
Yeah, so I just Let me. I will explain to chat real quick what I'm doing to give them a rundown, because some people have been here and like I totally kind of changed like what I've been doing with the strikes. So essentially, instead of like going and I'm gonna go like I started with Sepix, right? And instead of going now I'm gonna go Valis and then I'll do what do you guys want? You want Winter's Run? Instead of doing that, right? I'm going to be like Devil's Lair, Saber, Omnigul, Wretched Eye, make a video. That's how I'm gonna do it. That's how I'm gonna do it now, instead of like jumping around and trying to remember which ones I've done and stuff like that. So,
well, what I was gonna say about Destiny and its exotics and its current state. I mean, exotics, like I said, are very exotic and they're all special in their own sort of way. But I mean, the way that they keep buffing and nerfing exotics and making some much more powerful than others leaves exotics kind of in a weird state. And honestly, sometimes I don't even have an exotic equipped just because I mean, there's really no need for it. It's just
who does unless it's armor.
What is the worst exotic that you can
probably
think of?
Hard Light. Personally, I fucking hate the Hard Light. I think it's the most
Hard Light is up there.
I don't think the Nolan Beyond
you can talk about armor in this too, like because
Raiment, absolutely Raiment.
Yeah, Alchemist Raiment is just a horrific. Why would you waste an exotic armor slot on Alchemist Raiment?
Warlock has like the best exotic pieces.
You've got the Ram. In year one, I loved Sunbreakers. I mean, they were dope. You know, if you're gonna do trials, Voidfang Vestments, I mean, you always have an Axion Bolt when you get
Drake's
revived.
Promise is really bad.
Star Power.
Dude, that's great. That's great in Crucible.
No,
it is?
Yes.
With the Sidon meta, yeah.
What about the Necrochasm? That was really...
Well, with the auto rifle update that it got back before taking King or whatever, that was actually okay now too. I read a
one's
fire
actually
weapon's
okay.
kind of in a weird like limbo with being buffed and nerfed and everything else. But
There was a
Necrochasm. The
there was
Necrochasm.
There was a
Yeah.
time when Universal
That's another
Remote
useless
ruled the
weapon.
Crucible.
What about
Yeah.
the Fabian strategy?
That's Titan
that-
exclusive.
I think that one's probably the least useful exotic. I mean,
Pocket Infinity is pretty bad too.
Pocket Affinity at one point or another was actually pretty good though. At one point or another, it's
Well,
Wasn't
I mean,
that
amazing
good
anymore,
at
but-
like beginning or some shit like that?
Yeah,
but
well,
then
there
it
was
was like
back when it
some kind
first-
of
people found out about it. It was great. People
There was a
started using
fusion
it.
meta for a while too that
Yeah.
it was pretty popular in.
Mhm.
How about how about the Touch of Malice? That shit is only useful if
I
you're
was going to say, during King's Fall, it's the only place that it's useful in because you're invincible inside
See-
that bubble. Past that, you're just fucking killing yourself.
Would you
everywhere. It's the
consider that a
dumbest thing.
raid exotic?
Yeah,
Effectively, yeah.
yeah.
A weapon that
Yeah,
only-
it's just like a
it's only-
raid
There's-
exotic.
It's
Like I don't see nobody going into the Crucible and
I'm
using
so
a Touch
sad
of
because the
Malice.
account I have now, I don't have any of my old exotics. But oh well.
I like the Nemesis Star. It's pretty decent.
I think the Thunderlord is really meh. Honestly, I've
The
never found a
Thunderlord was
reason
like
to
one of
use
my
the Thunderlord.
first exotics I ever got. And I
Oh
got
yeah, what
super
about those
excited
other
about it.
two?
Ooh,
Those other
shit.
two, the Fire
Abaddon
Lord and
the
the.
Nova Mortis.
You're talking about the Nova
Yeah.
Mortis and the
Those-
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
I don't know. Do you think they should have added those in?
Yeah,
just,
I mean they're
just
cool.
neat. They're just neat.
Yeah, I was just saying they're just kind
I
of.
feel like they're cosmetic, right? They feel like
yeah, it's more
cosmetic
cosmetic
items.
than anything. Yeah. I mean
Um,
that you can take it into a Nightfall. I mean, if you have machine gun boots or whatever.
We have the
but
Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades is really cool though. And, like that, the perk on it is really.
Our
nice,
hand
actually.
cannon's really good in the meta right now because maybe Ace of Spades would be useful, but
Yeah, they're getting-
Oh,
they're
so
better
do
right
have
now.
cannons.
Hashtag Thorn.
the Boolean Gemini, huh?
That's also an unused one.
Yeah, that's an unused.
It's a damn good gun. It's just really underrated. I mean, the
Alright,
perks on it are
alright.
really meh, honestly.
What I
but
want to know is what you guys think about the No Land Beyond. Personally, I don't think it's useful in
I-
any.
Yeah,
think
it has its very. If you're good, it's god tier.
If
Yeah, I
you're
was gonna
really
say,
good, if you're like triple
have a
rec
primary
status, I'm
sniper.
pretty sure. Yeah.
And you don't even need to be triple rec status. You should be better than all of us.
Yeah.
if you're an above
Trespasser
average
is
player
probably
who can
good
hit
right
a-
now.
hit a headshot, then yeah, it's pretty.
What
great,
about
but-
the the Young Wolf's Howl?
Oh,
is that
fuck no.
any
That thing's a waste of an exotic. slot.
exactly?
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's a good one that's a waste of a slot.
The Chaperone, I guess it's useful.
Chaperone was over fucking powered at some point or another in there, but I don't know what they did.
Yeah,
I think
when
it's.
Oh, you want to know the worst shotgun? I think is probably Universal Remote. That was
No.
probably
No,
man,
no,
no,
that
I
was
would-
good, super good. That's still
I
super
would
good.
literally before the meta shift, like when Rise of Iron came out, I would have made your team cry with the Universal Remote. You would have hated me. You would have quit. You would have called me a piece of shit.
like
you would call me a
nowadays.
scumbag.
What
Like
about,
nowadays. Like
what about
nowadays.
Party-
It's not as good now.
What about,
What about
Party
Queen
Plus
Breakers?
One?
That's not a
Party Crusher, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not a. That is a.
Queen Breaker's
Yeah,
bow. Like what are your guys?
And I was,
Yeah,
I was never good with it.
Oh,
I can see why it's good,
the
though.
Super useless advice. How about that one?
Oh, super good advice. I think is one of the worst, probably the worst exotic in the
The
game. for
worst,
PvP.
yeah.
Just for PvP. I mean, I guess for PvE it's good. I've heard people tell me it's good.
Fourth
but-
Horseman's very good in very niche situations with Arcburn.
What is the Lord of Wolves again? Is that like a shotgun?
That's the shotgun.
You use the Lord of Wolves exclusively if you want to look like a badass. Like it's not very good, but
Yeah, no, it's super meh. There's
Yeah,
no-
Fourth Horseman can be very good.
Not anymore. I remember.
That's a
people
useless
using
weapon.
that. That's a useless as fuck weapon. Plan C.
That's super good. It's good.
Yeah.
I think Plan C is good.
How'd you guys like the Hawkmoon? I liked
Hawkman's
it.
still
Hawkmoon
super
actually
good.
got a buff apparently, from what I heard.
Yeah, I
read
got-
something on
I
Twitter,
heard
it
it
was
really-
just dead
it
eye.
really needed it. It really needed
know-
it too because they ruined it with Rise of Iron
Yeah,
for
they
a while.
did.
It was not good.
Talilic.
It was
Talilic.
useless.
Like, it's a scout rifle, is it
Rise of
good?
Iron.
Talilic is fucking OP, dude. That thing is great if you're a warlock.
Monte
Fourth-
Carlo.
People are saying
Monte
Fourth
Carlo's
Horseman
pretty
is
good, okay.
anti-meta with the new special changes.
With the new special changes.
Well, yeah, there's a lot
I mean,
of
to
changes
be
that
fair,
are.
yeah.
Oh,
To
no,
be
no.
fair, like I don't know, Crucible.
How about the
is
Dragon's
weird.
Breath?
It was good in its time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
Yeah.
like I feel like it was good
its
back
new perk is
then.
pretty cool, but nobody's using it. It just kind of went on.
Would the
unheard
thorn
of.
make a comeback if hand cannons are
It's
meta right now?
it's been there. I mean, it's gonna be hard for it.
Yeah.
I
No,
love-
haven't. Yeah, you love.
I
what?
love Thorn meta was my favorite PvP
Oh,
meta in
it
this
was
game.
so good. If
Man.
you were bad at Crucible, you were the best with the thorn.
Well, no, but here's the thing about it is that Thorn meta, everyone pretty much had an opportunity to get a Thorn,
Yes.
Yeah.
and everyone had it, and everyone used it, and it was awesome. Like I enjoyed, yeah, it was frustrating to play against people like a full team that used it, but I just think that was some of the most balanced PvP that this game had.
All right, they brought back the icebreaker, but I think it's sort of not that good anymore. It's not as good as it was.
It's a
when it
good
came
good
out.
option. It's an option though. Right now, it is an option to use.
I mean, if you're a sniper, it's good in PvP because sniper.
What about the
snipers,
Zen Meteor?
but- Zen Meteor, honestly, I think is really bleh. I mean, it's okay.
Well,
but
I
think
don't want to talk about the Zen Meteor because not everyone is a PlayStation player.
Okay, yeah. Okay, would you guys agree with me when I said that No Time to Explain one was kind of meh as well?
Yeah, it feels
yeah.
more like a legendary, if anything. I
It's
don't
it's
really
it's
Yeah.
very situational. I mean,
Yeah, definitely very situational.
Jade Rabbit is pretty good. Like that scout
Ooh.
rifle is pretty good.
Uh,
did
That was the one
Xbox?
Scout
No,
Rifle
Xbox.
I
Xbox still didn't get that content, which is really crappy.
Yeah. They don't have Zen Meteor
I
and they
thought
don't
that
have
they
Jade
did.
Rabbit. Do they have Jade Rabbit?
No, no, no.
Xbox guys,
No,
do you have
no.
Jade Rabbit?
They do not. They do not because they didn't get
Holy
Jade
shit.
Rabbit. They didn't get anything that was Taken
PlayStation?
Taken King exclusives. They didn't
Oh,
get them. They
that's
didn't
not
get
fun.
they didn't get the strike, which to be honest, like that strike is terrible.
Which
Echo
strike?
Echo Chamber is
Yeah,
awful.
Echo Chamber. We skip it every single time. Like I will never step foot in that fucking strike.
Well, I gotta
I
have
mean,
to do 35 of them.
we'd run that strike
Yeah,
for
I mean
2
we'll
minutes.
do it, but I won't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Vex Mytho class kind of a useless.
No. I would say it still has its part.
It's
Oh,
a fusion rifle, so it's still kind of good.
really it's still really a viable option in Crucible.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm
Do
gonna
you
do
see
a call
people
out.
use it though?
Matt, I'm gonna do a call out right now since we live together. Since I'm so way behind, if you ever come into my room and I'm not playing Destiny, turn the game off and then throw Destiny in front of me.
Why?
Because I need to get my characters up, dude. I'm still don't have anyone.
I don't want to. I don't want to get in a fist
actually
fight
do
with
that,
you.
Matt. Record yourself doing that and put it in Discord, so I
No,
can see that
it
shit.
wouldn't piss me off. I would just, if he did it, I would be like, oh, you're right.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Because if
You
I'm
sh-
telling him to do it, it's like, and if I didn't do it, I'd be like, oh, I forgot. Maybe I should be playing Destiny right now.
I think I've seen invective way more in Crucible than I have in a while.
People need to
I know.
start seeing fists.
Someone saying like 35 of the Echo Chamber can't wait to analyze the strike I can't play. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta include it.
The truth.
I
What
don't
was
think any
it?
of the
Oh.
PlayStation
Oh, Truth is super good. It got nerfed super hard.
Yeah,
like,
I
I,
don't-
feel like
I-
the
I-
nerf got super bad. Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point, the truth is not a viable PvP option.
How about
After
the-
Tuesday, no. After Tuesday, it is no longer a viable option. I don't think. I think there's much better rocket launchers now.
No, you would be much more suited running a smolder or something else, something
Yep.
with clown cart, and at that point you can run a Mata, or because
Mine and Mata
Anything,
is really good,
anything.
yeah.
who doesn't
anything.
love the Mata?
Dude, the Mida is such a great weapon.
Okay,
Black
so
Spindle.
so a lot of people are saying that like, oh, the Vex is useless and is terrible in Crucible right now. I exclusively remember, and this was recent, since Rise of Iron, Cody going, what was it, nearly flawless or flawless at 370 light because you had the
it was-
Mythic Glass.
Yeah. We used a full fire team of Mytho class, and we went 7-0, and then we ended up flopping on 8
That's hilarious.
because
So-
lot level advantage just doesn't. I mean, it's not
It's not
really
good
a
enough.
thing.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, it's not a thing. So that's why it became funny. It's like, well, we'll just all run Mytho class and see what we can do. And
yeah, so
I'm not-
Black
I'm not-
Spindle in the PvP aspect, no, right?
well, I'm not sure what the current situation as far as the Mytho class is after Tuesday. So
Well, I
haven't-
heard after Tuesday the shotguns were kind of nerfed.
No,
like in midair.
I still
mean,
think it's.
special-
I still think that's psychological. I think shotguns are a lot stronger than people are putting them out to be still. I'm going to say that over and over again. I think that's the case. I think it's more psychological.
Would you
It's
see
fear.
people using bad juju?
Yes, it's fear. It's right now it's completely psychological that the shotguns are too bad. I don't think they're as bad as people are making them out to be.
By the way, were you guys talking about the update that this Tuesday?
Yeah, literally yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Okay.
What about the bad juju? Would people use that again?
Yes.
They still use it.
I don't know
Everyone
about
should be using the bad juju. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's god tier or anything.
I don't
It's
think
alright.
every weapon should get elements, not just raid weapons, but I think certain primaries should have them. I think it should be not. I honestly think it should be a role, just to add another depth of role. Like, oh, I didn't get it with arc. Crap. And now you go and get another one.
Get it with great perks, and then you get it with like a bad burn or something on it.
Yeah, like that's what I feel like needs to happen with those. I think that elements on primaries just need to be a random roll. I think all weapons should have that kind of roll. I don't think a Galahorn should be solar. I think it should be rolled.
I don't think a Zala Cell should be arc either.
No, I think that Zala Supercell should be arc. There's certain weapons that make sense on why they're arc, and I get like why the bolt caster's arc and stuff like that. I feel like though, but it's still like on certain ones where it doesn't matter. I think it'd be cool to have a for example, like an arc Galahorn or something.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time.
Or a Void Galahorn, that would be interesting.
Shocky horn.
People still use the Red Death in PvP.
Oh, actually, after Tuesday, it's a monster from what I hear.
Yeah, it's much better. Because I always really enjoyed it.
Much better. Was it ever bad?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
the thing
Based on comparison, yes.
The Rise of Iron PvP meta initially favored a lot of high rate of fire pulses. So I
And
mean,
shotguns.
I pretty much exclusively ran a Matador 64 with performance bonus, and I ran a Clever Dragon with high caliber rounds because that's what everybody ran.
God, you have to kill a motherfucker. Dude.
A lot of people are saying that like elements felt overpowered. The reason elements feel overpowered is because the content isn't difficult enough.
Yeah, elements don't feel overpowered, really.
Putting an element on a primary, like, it gave you the option to have a very powerful setup because the content wasn't hard enough. That's
I
what
feel like
that.
elemental stuff like should be earned. Like how like legendaries and trials, there sometimes when you open up the chest you get an elemental arc whatever.
In your one you did, yeah.
I can't remember
In
its
year one.
name. Maybe you guys already talked about the one that looked like an AK-47, but
That's the Zalo. So
That's
Yes,
the
it's
Zala Supercell.
Yeah, the Zell had its time back when Taken King. first
Red Death
came
didn't
out.
get nerfed. No. Red Death did not get nerfed. Red Death.
Red Death got better.
it got buffed. Even
It got
more so.
buffed as shit.
Well, the thing is if it did get any sort of detrimental sort of effects from Tuesday, it would have been
was-
associated with the Red Death perk where you get the health back. Because outside of that, I know that slow firing pulses did get they got like a 6%, like 6.4% or 5.4% damage increase.
I feel like if
Okay,
Zalo had
but
different elements, they would.
A lot of people are saying that
cosmetic. It'd just be cosmetic.
with the health regen, it got nerfed. I understand that with the health regen, it technically got nerfed, but those were unintentional changes and will probably be hot fixed. So if you base your like something getting nerfed on an unintentional nerf, that's like saying Cauterize got nerfed. Cauterize got nerfed, yes, technically, but it wasn't intended to get nerfed and it'll get brought right back. So like anytime something got unintentionally nerfed, we can't call that a nerf because by technicality the Red Death did get buffed, but it got hit by the blanket health regen nerf.
And that's the fault of Bungie's engine to
Yes.
the best of our understanding.
So you're saying it was an accident?
No, it
they're-
absolutely was an accident.
Yeah, their engine is designed in such a way is sometimes when they make changes to one thing, it's sort of blanket coded to all of the things. So if they affected health regen overall on like say your Guardian's health regen timer, it for some reason affected all like life support and all health regen perks.
That actually sucks.
And
But
people are
then
saying
again,
that
Well,
it's
but then
still-
you have to bear in mind like, yeah, I give Bungie a ton of shit because I think they could do better in a lot of ways, but they also did like build this engine from the ground up, and it's not very user friendly.
They're also
according to-
building the second one from the ground up too, so it's gonna be.
It's based on the current one though.
Oh, is it? We're gonna
Yeah,
get
it's
the
just-
same like graphical and
No. It's built from the ground up, but it's based off of this one. This project is essentially going through every single strike, one by one per planet. And then after a planet is completed, I'll be doing a video on it. Right now, we're working on the Cosmodrome. And a lot of people are saying that like the only pulse that got buffed is the low rate of fire archetypes, and I understand that. But with the nerf to the Clever Dragon and those high rate of fires, everything else shifted upwards in usefulness. And while their numbers may not have been changed, they did become more useful and got a buff because of the nerf.
I don't remember the last time I've seen a normal weapon other than a Clever Dragon or something on the lines of the Iron Banner weapons. So I'm glad they did that.
Joel, thank you for the subscription, man.
Very, very glad they did that because we definitely needed more accessibility to every weapon other than just one.
Oh.
Or what was it? What was the other one? Was it the hand cannon in Rise of Iron Banner that one week? This ridiculous hand cannon that was OP, but
What are you talking? What are my thoughts on packages? Like, you're talking like vendor, like the faction packages. I don't have a problem with the way the faction packages are. I think they work. They're probably one of the most functional things in the game when it comes to working as intended and being a good loot source.
do you think factions should give you like quests maybe to make it a little more interesting?
Dude, I hope they do that in Destiny too, because that
would
make it
be
super cool.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like stuff like that should be implemented into the Destiny 2. Like if you just have a quest based off your faction, you get more and more shit. You get better shit.
They have like their own little quest lines and
Yeah,
stuff.
I know, right?
Yep.
That would be so cool.
I mean, like I'm telling you, if they can make more of like Destiny, like WoW, when it comes to like questing, dude, I would love it so much more.
Joseph, thank you for the sub.
They are.
I mean, they
feel
should
like
be
they
able
are.
to. They should be able to, you know, considering that they're published by Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I feel like Blizzard's like kind of watching what they're doing.
I know.
but
Well,
not
I know
really
they
caring
consult.
what they're
I
doing.
know they did.
More
They
of-
did. No, they did
more of
consult
what
with
you watching
Blizzard.
Blizzard is doing.
They actually
They-
had they had an official consultation. Is that correct?
Yeah, they did
Like-
have an actual. They had a consultation with them over how to, because when Crota's End wasn't as much of a hit as Vault of Glass, they
asked
they talked.
Blizzard.
They didn't ask Blizzard. They had a talk with Activision, and because Blizzard execs were there, they made suggestions based on how they started talking about how raids are effective in World of Warcraft.
They're actually they're a good company to talk about because their company is based off making grindy ass games.
I wouldn't even say that, but like they just had they had a consultation with them,
Well,
and you
I
saw
mean,
it.
Do you have a problem with any Blizzard game like Diablo or
I feel
any
like
of those?
I feel like every game has its problems.
Yeah.
Why don't they make all weapons useful, including green and blue? Open up the weapon base.
I don't feel like that would be.
The problem is with that. The problem is with that. One, first of all, you need to have in this type of game, a looter shooter, you need to have a low tier set of what? Yeah, you need to have a low tier set of weapons, a progression system.
I don't.
Well, I
think
agree that-
green should be
well,
useful in Crucible. Honestly.
Well, I think there should be a way to convert your favorite green or blue into a usable option. I don't think all weapons should be useful because then it becomes pointless to do any sort of grind in this game.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Honestly.
And in addition, like the reason there's a limitation, and it's because there wasn't room for this game. There wasn't room because of old gen consoles held this game back at launch. So they had to build an engine that would function with old gen, and a lot of the early stuff was held back, and the current engine was based off of that, and that's why there's so many problems with the game.
I'm glad everything is like up and running. Everything is new gen now. There's no 360 or PS3 involved anymore, so it's great. Destiny 2 should be a very vast majority, have a lot of more solutions to our problems that we're currently having in the game, hopefully. But I don't think, personally I don't think blues and greens should have any like use in any way. Maybe at the beginning, when you start, maybe like if people are just based off just playing Crucible and they don't play the actual game yet and they want to use a blue or a green to start off the game, sure.
And a lot of people are talking about the.
It should be like how it was when we first started Taken King. Remember when we did that first mission and the first green like pistol we got was
better than everything we had.
Was better than everything we had. Yes.
But then when we finally got that purple,
it was just like, nah, this is not useful anymore.
No, the purple when we were just like, oh my god, like this is amazing. Like I can't wait to get in the raid and get an exotic.
Can you imagine how cool it would be if you could? Can you imagine how cool it would be if you could like sort of transmog or modify your greens and blues that you like now into the legendaries and exotics? Can you imagine?
Transmog system needs to exist in this game.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, you could have a legendary more ass auto rifle, which I think is what everybody wants.
So it would basically look like you're holding a green, but in reality you're holding a different weapon. That would be awesome.
I understand currently why they do it that way, because like a lot of like the high level Crucible play is recognizing what someone's holding at that time and reacting to that what they're holding. So I get that. I understand why transmogrifications aren't a thing, but at the same time, you turn off light level in Crucible, it'd be just as easy to turn off transmogs in Crucible.
If you look at some of their streams, they talk about fashion and all that stuff. like if you actually added a transmog system, then people would actually look different, because nobody wants to look the same. Nobody would look the same if they did have a transmog
and like I said, like I just said, like Bungie has come out and said why they originally didn't do it. It was because a lot of their Crucible is designed about being able to recognize what's coming at you.
I feel like they will in Destiny 2 though, because I mean like I said, like any other like MMORPG, kind of almost like Destiny. I mean, there are a lot of Blizzard games, but I mean,
they get a lot of shit.
Transmog, like Star Wars, The Old Republic has a transmog. Like these games have transmogs because like, these turns into fashions. Because when you play this game, you're like, this is my character. I want to design it my way.
I feel like Bungie gets a lot of shit for that, but they don't really say it on the forums about the fashion. It's just about guns and weapons and all that shit. Like, but the things that they see that players like about the game itself, that like, hey, this needs fixing, this needs this, I would rather have the game look like this and this and this. I feel like they took these suggestions into account and they listened to what we're saying, and they want to make the game better for the player, so that way we come back every single time.
They love it. Like that's another thing. Like I said no. The thing is like I said it on Twitter. Like especially when everyone was getting all heated after this patch recently, and like I was looking at the Bungie forums and like reading some of the comments and seeing some of the tweets, not from the community heads, because the community heads were being like very, very cordial about it, but like some of the replies to them were very, very confrontational, and there's no reason for some of like I could say everything that everyone has said, and I've said it today, and never once have I told Bungie, like I've talked about all the things that I feel is wrong with this game, and none of you have seen me as angry or upset about it, because it's constructive, and anything you say can be said in a constructive fashion. Even if it's in a negative intonation, you can still say it constructively. And
you're much more likely to get your point across and get things accomplished if the community is sort of cordial and like, well, you know, I think this is how it should be, instead of, you know, everybody grabs their torches and pitchforks and runs to Seattle and they're like, we're gonna burn Bungie's offices. Like, yeah, that's not exactly like, you don't come across.
I drive 2 hours away from my house, go to Seattle just to
it's not exactly the most. Yeah, it's not exactly ideal to get your point across. What's going on with Saber? Oh, okay.
The only outcome you're gonna get from that is kicked out.
Yeah,
banned from the.
But what I was kind of saying is that like Bungie does listen, and they like this game just as much and as passionately, if not more passionately, than a lot of us do. They play this game. They enjoy this game. They play it on a daily basis.
They love this game more than they did Halo when they created that game, which is probably why they sold it, because they wanted.
That's nothing like that. But like, it's just they like this game just as much as we do. They want it to be just as fun as we do, and they are working. They just aren't doing it as fast as the players want. They'll never be able to keep up with us ever.
Because everybody has different opinions.
And I also feel like the reason we haven't seen much with Destiny 2 or anything is because they just don't want to talk about it and have some sort of quote-unquote promise. Because that was one of the mistakes they made with Destiny when they were announcing Destiny. They were showing all these things and showing all these trailers, and then things happened and things got cut. And then everyone was mad about it. It wasn't the game that was promised. So I think that's a lot of reason why they're not talking about Destiny 2 until they're fairly certain that everything that they're going to show us is in fact what they're going to give us.
Concrete.
They want to have a successful launch of Destiny 2. They don't want.
They'll have a successful launch regardless because of look the passion's there. It's going to be huge.
It's not like it's not like the passion's not there. I just feel like the things that we want as a community in the game is probably going to be added. Like if there is finally a trading system.
I already have. Okay, here's the thing. If there's a trading system, I already have plans, but I'm not going to talk about those plans because it'll be fun content. I've talked to these guys about it in the past, but
yes, we have extensive ideas.
I'll tell you what though, get those pocket books ready for when they do announce the game and it gets available for pre-orders, because I feel like it's going to go pretty quick.
I'm just going to get it digitally, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if they do custom consoles,
I like my physical copies.
I mean, I buy exclusively digital now, but like,
I think a lot of people do because of like how easy it is to just be like on your internet and just click the button.
You know what I really like about the situation of what we got going on here? Chad is kind of talking about their own thing amongst themselves, but also probably intently listening to what we're talking about at the same time. Like they're currently talking about gun sounds, which has no context to what we're talking about. But that's just, I don't know. I thought that was awesome that they're just sitting there kind of chilling, talking to listen.
If you guys want to worry about gun sounds, I mean, we're in the future. Guns sound different.
No, they're kind of talking like that. They were talking about Bungie not having very many gun sounds, and like when we were talking about like the visuals, I think that's where it kind of sparked it. Is that
if
being able to hear the difference?
Sound different. That's gonna take a while. Like
no, I think they already do. They already do though, very slightly, but they do.
But I mean, like, hey, look at the fusion rifle. Honestly,
Sledgehammer
the sound of the gun feels pretty real.
Sledgehammer games. They killed gun sounds. They have the best gun sounds in Advanced Warfare. They're so good. That audio design is so good. I don't know who did it.
Sledgehammer Games is gonna have a 2017 COD that probably will.
I don't know.
It probably will be bad.
Will be bad, but like
it's gonna be boots on the ground, and because it's boots on the ground, everyone's gonna buy it again. But anyway,
just give up on Call of Duty. That's the end of that.
Talk about those plans with if player trading exists in Destiny 2. No, because everyone will do it. Okay, let me tell you a little backstory. Let me tell you a little backstory about something that happened in a game called Diablo 3 very early on with me, right? All right, so player trading existed in Diablo 3, and I didn't use the real money auction house. I didn't make actual money off of it, so I didn't delve into that world. But I was at one point the number 13 best character in the world in that game. Very early on in Diablo, I was doing content designed for 4 people by myself so other people could get it done because my character was so good at the time. I was one of the few doing endgame content, and I was also one of the few that had the market figured out. Because of this, and the way the market worked, I was able to generate what was unheard of amounts of money in Diablo. I had close to 300 billion gold in Diablo, and this was when it first launched. The average player at that time, the average avid player at that time, maybe had 200 million gold. If that doesn't, that'll give you at least a little hint of what my plans are with player trading. But it'll be more, I was very greedy in Diablo 3, and I wouldn't give anyone anything. And I don't know if I'm going to follow that same suit. But if player trading exists, I have plans for it, and it'll be very interesting content.
Just be prepared for a massive economic shift in the game.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, another little story, because Patrick, you were part of this. Remember when me, you, and 3 of our friends totally tanked a WoW realm for about 3 weeks, and the GMs...
That wasn't me. That was before you knew me.
Okay, that was before you. Okay, so Tyler, member of the Discord, the owner of the Discord server, me and him played WoW, and we tanked a server because we bought out all of the wool in there, and then continuously bought it all the time. we always had someone on spending guild money to buy the wool, just normal wool, right? We bought it and the price would just skyrocket because there was so little of it. Once we had it all, except for what people were farming daily, which we were buying faster than they could farm it, because we had so much money in the guild, we then took it and turned it around and skyrocketed the price by nearly 1,000%. So it went from being like 2-3 silver per stack to roughly 20 to 30 gold per stack.
What sucks is you can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore, but when we did it, we had a GM, which is the game master, and if you haven't played WoW, it's a Blizzard employee, come in and tell our...
It's a scary thing to get a GM in the game.
Yeah, well, not really, because when they're coming to tell you to stop doing something, it's scary.
Yeah.
They came in and they were like, "You need to stop this," because we totally tanked the economy of the server. But because we did it with wool, everything that was created with wool then skyrocketed 1,000.
Because tailoring is a moneymaker.
Having a GM in the game, though.
Everything went up by about 1,000%. Anything created with wool went up 1,000%. Anything that was used from that stuff, like anything used to farm wool, went up 1,000%, and we caused the market to tank, and the GM told us to stop. So, like, player trading is going to be a fun thing. I like building currency. Like, currency is a very important thing to me, and having mass amounts of things, like, it's kind of counterintuitive to what I just did. Like, I just deleted all my stuff, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, you deleted all your stuff, like, you must not care about your stuff." And that's technically the case. But I also just like the whole feeling of having just massive amounts of wealth in a game.
Dude, speaking of it again, just like I kind of hope they do have the economy, like the auction house, like World of Warcraft, but what it is now, which it is fixed, and you can't do like things like that. But it's
price manipulation. I want to be able to price. I want to be able to price manipulate.
You can do it, but they're gonna fix it, and like I said,
I can't. I don't have a grenade on cooldown.
Yeah, I don't either right now. So.
All right, we'll just wait for the cooldown.
I also have to bring in craft.
That would be so funny. Watch Deej come in. Deej will come in and be like, "Hey, you need to stop this. You're notorious for doing this."
That's fine. And obviously, if trading exists and I'm well off and I have my plans and I know what I'm doing, right, and I'm set up and everything is good and hunky dory, I will absolutely don't think for a second that I'm gonna sit there and do something and then not tell you guys how I did it. That's like me keeping my 200 strange coins a week method to myself. I could have done that, but I didn't. I will always share with you guys. But it's after I'm certain that it's an efficient method. But anytime when it comes to an economy-based thing, if there is player trading, right? Anytime I produce a method, it will tank the method. If a community starts doing an entire method along with me, it's going to tank that method. Will it be effective for about a month? Absolutely. I dropped the orb and died.
Dude, that makes me wonder. Do you remember the rune essence thing on RuneScape? If they still do that.
Buying it out massive?
No, okay. This is a long time ago, but pretty much this wasn't. You wouldn't do it at the auction house. It was actually trading. This was before the coin shop thing. I can't remember the name, but RuneScape. But pretty much, you'd go to this specific server. You could only do it on this server. You went to.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where you took them root essence and they made.
And they gave you money.
Yep. And they gave the runes.
Yeah. That lasted for a very long time, but it wasn't manipulative because there wasn't a market. But it just people.
Well, what they were doing is they wouldn't pay you gold for it. They were crafting multiple of the same type and only giving you one amount's worth of craft. So like if they would craft 27 and you gave them like normal, you could hold 28, right?
I think it was 25 or something.
Whatever. You could. I think it was 28 that you could hold. But sometimes they could double craft, triple craft, quadruple craft. They would only give you 28. They would keep the other ones and sell them the other ones. By the way, Sky Hunter, if you're still here, I'll see you next time. I saw you say you had to leave.
Leaf.
Oh.
Catch in the next time.
Could have revived you.
I'll catch you in the next time.
Get caught in the next time.
But for real, like, there's so many ideas that I want them to do for Destiny 2. but I don't know if it would make it too.
I want
like,
I want a player influenced economy based off of currencies already in the game, with Glimmer not being one of them.
You think like there should be just the currency based off just player trading?
No, I think there should be everything that is currently considered currency: weapon parts, armor materials, strange coins, exotic shards, glass needles,
just
everything.
Gold or
Hey,
No,
I
no,
just,
no,
I
no.
just had a good idea. Okay, Patrick, you know how For Honor's like multiplayer works with the seasons?
Yep.
What if Destiny did that with their PvP, and like it was based upon your faction choice, and you could switch factions like at the end of a season?
See, that would
Actually,
be cool because
that would be-
I actually
that
have a
would be
video
cool.
called Dear Bungie Faction Wars that I posted like within the first 3 weeks of the game that literally details that exact thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool, but the whole like faction changing at the end of the season, because then that kind of that depending on how they do it might contradict the faction quest lines that Code and I were talking about earlier. That would be really cool, but it just depends how they do it. But that would be cool because there are 3 factions, so there can be 3 wars.
Excuse me.
3 territories to fight off of. But that'd be cool. I'd like that. That'd make PvP at least a little more interesting.
I think Glimmer is useless, and I don't think it should ever have a use. Like someone said, what if Glimmer was useful? I don't think Glimmer should be in the game. I think everything should be traded based off of weapon parts, armor materials, strange coins, and I think there should be more.
For the beginning, what was it used for? The like year 1, what was it even used for again? I can't remember.
I mean, just buying stuff.
Yeah.
Just buying like weapon parts, basically. I have no idea. What it was.
No, that was a later thing.
Oh no, heavy sense. That's all it's used for. It's just heavy sense. It's literally what it's used for.
Like they need to give you a more real reason to have Glimmer in Destiny 2, and if they do, they also need to raise the cap.
Yeah, 25,000 is not
the cap is a problem.
I mean, like I hate that I keep bringing it up, but it's the best I can use. But I mean, like shit, World of Warcraft raised their cap from the last expansion. Once you could only have basically 1 million. Now you can have 10 million.
We should have 1 million, honestly, in Destiny because we get so much Glimmer in it.
And give us a use for it, and then I don't know. Like I said, I want crafting. So give us like. If they give us trading or stuff, it's like, all right, you can farm this, get this crafting material, and then you can buy it with the actual money.
If they give us crafting,
I don't think you should ever be able to play as the enemy.
Dude, because that'd be so cool if you could craft like your own weapon.
Yeah, dude, crafting like a crafting table or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, give us a spaceship that we can call home.
Yes.
Warframe does it well.
Yeah, Warframe does that. Yeah, Warframe definitely does a really good job at that.
I honestly think if you wanted Glimmer to be useful, first of all, player trading needs to exist, and also there needs to be more. Like, okay, so we got those royal things, those royal gems, the royal amethyst or whatever they were called, right? Those need to exist. Those need to be convertible so we can store Glimmer. If 25,000 is your limit, right? Like for some reason your engine only lets you get 25,000, I should be able to hold 25,000 Glimmer, 25,000 royal amethysts, and 25,000 of another tier up. And those royal amethysts were worth 5,000 and 2,500 Glimmer. I should be able to hold 25,000 each of those, thus player trading becoming a thing. But I don't think Glimmer should be used as a trading thing, because I think when you start using a base currency, right? When you start using something like gold or Glimmer in a trade economy, it becomes inflated very, very, very fast.
Yeah, it does.
But if your currency is strange coins, those have a sink currently. Weapon parts, those do have a sink. Armor materials, motes of lights, exotic shards, those all have a sink, which would stabilize the economy over time.
Yeah, Nick, I feel like there is a story almost adding up very, very closely. I feel like Rise of Iron did a really good job at that, I guess. It was
the whole story argument, right? The story argument, right, is that it's not readily available in the game. That's the problem. There is a there's a vast story to this game. There really is.
But here's the thing:
you just have to read Grimoire cards. That's literally
the problem.
I think I said it best though. If you tell an amazing story for your game, but it's not readily available to like 80% of your player base, is just not gonna go do the work, because it is a ton of work to draw context clues from grimoire cards and to go read them all and to understand sort of the context of everything happening. And if people have to go through that much work to understand sort of your basic narrative, you didn't really tell a great story.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, look how Dark Souls and Bloodborne did it. Most of their story details were in items you had to pick up.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. It was there.
About their story.
It was in the game, so that way
that's the problem. Grimoire is not in the game.
But Dark Souls, the difference between Dark Souls and Destiny is built to appeal to a much wider, broader audience than a Dark Souls.
Do you think you should pick up Grimoire cards and be able to read them in your inventory?
Yes.
I think that there should be a kiosk inside the tower.
Add it to your ship. Be like your little hub.
Yeah.
Yes, you should. There should be like a bestiary where you can read lore about the enemies. You know, when you kill a new enemy, it's updated, or when you fight a boss, it's updated.
Because it's already in the game, and you don't have to go traverse to their website to read it.
And I want to fill some people in real quick what's going on, because I know people are popping in and out. People have missed streams, joined streams, and a couple people are asking exactly. And chat did a very good job of explaining what was going on. We were talking about random nonsense, but I just want to give everyone a fill in. We're basically doing the same thing we were doing, Andy, so for you, you know what's kind of going on. We just got it more structured. For everyone else, we're basically doing every strike in the game 35 times each. Every time I finish a planet, so right now I'm working on the Cosmodrome. Every time I finish a planet, I'll be doing a video. But since it's going to take much longer than most of my other projects, and that I'm streaming them, I'm going to be streaming, obviously, as a source of content, but also re-uploading those streams, so you guys have something to watch while these projects take a little bit longer. So, that's what we're doing here.
Hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but we've awoken the hive.
We've awoken the hive. Thank you. Yes, and yes, making ships have a purpose more than a loading screen. I don't care. Like, space combat would be cool, and I know a lot of people are like, give us space combat.
I just think they should stay. They're one of the few things that should stay as cosmetic. Like, ships should be useful.
I want to be able to explore my ship or have a hub ship that's bigger. And I don't think that space battles need to be a thing, because that just seems too gimmicky and falls too much into the sci-fi nature. But if we could have
that Halo, basically.
Yeah, but if we could,
almost everyone who does like a space battle now in most of their games, it's kind of just bad. Like, it doesn't.
It's a bad game. It's a terrible game if they do it.
But if we had the ability to access it as like an additional social space that we could invite our fire team to and customize it, that's what I want.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5 apartments.
Yes. I just want that. Just simple little things that we can go hang out in my ship instead of going to the tower.
Your clans get a clan ship, which is like a giant, bigger ship.
Yeah, like a hub ship. Even if we had that.
Dude, I'd rather have like that thing, how was it? Cody described it, like Warframe.
Yeah, Warframe does the dojo thing really well, where your clan can like contribute resources to upgrade your dojo. They could do the same thing in this game with a ship, where you spend a ton of materials, and you spend a ton of.
And that goes back to my whole thing. Like, let's not talk about Glimmer. Let's use weapon parts and armor materials as a form of currency, right? Or strange coins, or exotic shards, and add a sink to the currency, so that player trading could work, and there wasn't an economy that was saturated with Glimmer. If you were dumping in 100,000 weapon parts that your clan farmed together into upgrading your ship one time, well, those 100,000 weapon parts aren't in the economy anymore that are used for player trading, keeping the economy balanced.
Yeah, you totally take them out of the economy, and the demand is still there, because they're not only used to access items and trade with other players, but to, purchase things that you want and or need.
Yes. I still don't think there should be any sort of space missions. I think all of our fighting should be, someone said fly to planets, and I can see how that could be an interesting thing, but I feel like we should be able to manage our resources while in our ships and be exploring our ships while it loads. Let's talk about another game that allows you to do something while doing something else, right? Let's talk about Rocket League, right? You queue up for a very simplistic game, not comparable in many fashions, but one thing that I would like, let's say that the whole ship thing works. We're talking about this whole ships being a cosmetic place, a social space that we could go in and do things in. in Rocket League, you can queue up for a match, right? And if you're a high-level player in Rocket League and you're playing competitive, sometimes it can take upwards of 10 minutes, 15 minutes to find a game. During that time, you can pop into training and practice while you're searching for a game. Let's shift that into Destiny. While you're loading in to go do something, while you're queuing for something, whether it be a raid or a strike or anything, loading into a planet, let us go into our ship and walk around.
So basically, while we're loading into like a mission, it will say on the top of our screen, be like loading into this mission, but then we're able to still be crafting something in our
doing
ship.
something, trading something, making something, crafting. It doesn't matter.
Inviting clan members or whatever it has to be.
Well, see, Bandai Namco had a
Andy, thank you again for the $3. I will go get another Red Bull just for you. Thank you, friend.
Bandai Namco had like a trademark or a copyright on loading screen mini games, and that just expired this year. It expired in 2017. So
there we go. There's another thing.
You know, the thing is, they originally put in the copyright or whatever the legal terminology is for it when they released like a racing game, and they put Galaga on the loading screen. And so that had prevented game makers from using like effective mini games during loading activities until that expired.
So and
yeah, apparently it was too overreaching and they couldn't renew it.
Fair enough. And just to give it a little bit more thanks, because that was kind of like a lackluster, let me get this in real quick. I do want to show my appreciation for that donation, man. I appreciate that a lot. I don't want you to feel like, oh, he just like really quick, like, oh, thanks for the Red Bull, and like move on. That's not how I felt about it. Just want to let you know that I am very appreciative of that, man.
Yeah, super chats are fun. Overhead Spartan Assault. Mini games?
I don't know. Like, I don't think there should be mini games on the loading screen. I just still feel like having the ability to walk around in our ship or do stuff in our ship.
It would make the game more interesting if we were able to, while we're loading, do other stuff. Multitasking should be a major thing in that game, which isn't. Well, I mean, you could go your inventory and like, whatever, fuck around with your weapons, but like, you should be able to either do more than just, okay, I'm done with the inventory. Now I want to go into my ship and do this, or sell this thing, or
someone said gun range, just to dick around with weapons.
Like a firing range would actually be really cool to test out weapons, and yeah, that's a really good idea.
Division does that really well.
Yeah, Division does a really good job at that.
They just have the firing range downstairs. Like, that's, yeah. I mean, just those little itty bitty nuances. Those need to exist. And like, okay, you said an overhead Spartan Assault style mini game is what you meant, and you're talking like just a bird's eye view kind of like run and gun, kill some things while we load, and that would be interesting. But I still feel like this game is expansive enough to where being able to do stuff.
I just feel like multitasking should be a thing in this game. We should be able to go in our inventory while we do this thing, while we're loading in. You know what I mean? Like, it should be.
And like someone said,
Mass Effect Andromeda is Destiny 2. Okay.
Thanks, Tyler. Welcome, by the way.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
The stream kind of became a podcast, by the way, Tyler.
Dude, speaking of Mass Effect Andromeda, I can't wait for that to come out, yo.
Oh, are you streaming right now?
Yeah.
Are you streaming?
Ah, fantastic. Hello, stream watchers. How you doing?
I think we've been here for like 3-4 hours, maybe.
It's two and a half.
Been 2.
Been about 2.5 hours, roughly. Oh, but yeah, we're just talking about random ideas of like how we feel the game should be changed. And I know you've got a lot of opinions on it. Tyler's got a lot of opinions on what Destiny should be.
Tyler needs to tell us what he thinks, like what needs to be changed, because he's played a lot of games similar to looter shooters, or not even looter shooters.
He's played a lot. Tyler plays more games than any of us.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I am the quintessential gamer. Okay.
Yeah.
He's the metaphysical gamer.
To give you perspective, Tyler discovered 4 games while I was at his house or his apartment for 5 days. He discovered 4 new games and just played them.
He's
while
like,
I was
I'm gonna
there.
buy this thing, and then okay, I'll play it.
They were free too. Some of them were free. Just discovered new games.
Yeah, like Fractured Space. I've been playing that one quite a bit. That's a really fun free game. It's super premium feeling, and it's free. And the concept is like really good. I wish there were more people playing it.
Do you think that Path of Exile features should be in Destiny? Some of them.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, at its core, no. I mean,
Me and Tyler talked about this too.
From another game, but I don't think so.
Me and Tyler talked about this, and like you couldn't just implement what they have in Path of Exile. I would like features to be very similar. I'd like the main thing that I want for Path of Exile is controllable random difficulty. That's it. Controllable random difficulty. That's the only thing I want from that game. I want something similar to maps in a lot of games.
I feel like Destiny should have something like that, like for endgame.
Yeah, well,
purposes.
that's a totally the whole map thing. I mean, Path of Exile does it so well because it has a map engine that's designed specifically to do that. If you were to take even a first-person shooter or any kind of platform like that, it becomes a totally different ballgame. I've thought about it on a technical level before. And the development cycle for something like that is like way more immense than just doing something even 3D, like with the definition that Path of Exile has compared to like Diablo 3 is already a fuck ton of work. That's a lot of work.
And I'm not even talking from like the map standpoint and the randomness of the map. I'm talking about the modifiers that get put on them. I want the randomness of the difficulty. But because like you can take a map, right, and you're like you make it rare with an alchemy orb, and now it's got all these modifiers on it. You don't like those, you roll it with a chaos, right? You don't like those, you chaos. You don't like those, you scour it and start again, right? That's what I'm talking about on the randomness of difficulty. I'm not talking about throwing me into a random world procedurally generated world.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and that's kind of the direction that the Division is going into already. What was it, 1.6, I think? Really introduced a lot.
Yeah, I
of
played that game recently. It's really good. Holy
yeah,
fuck.
it's actually a ton of fun now to play.
I just want random controllable difficulty. If that's the best way.
Weapon skins, that would be interesting for the game. I mean,
at the same time that like it kind of defeats the purpose of like what things
reminds me of CS:GO a little bit, where you bring those kind of like cosmetic items into the game. But I mean,
I can understand like the want for like making your own skins, like kind of like Call of Duty has, and like other games where you can make your own camo. I get it. And I can see like the appeal to that. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, like although it would be cool and it would make you different from other people, it'd just be like, yeah, you know what? It's not really useful adding that feature in the game.
I feel like all the features need to add to PvE or PvP in some way. Like they just need to be planet-based loot. I would more so farmable loot based on zone, or farmable loot based on what you're fighting. Like I want to be able to farm.
What if exotics would, without 3 of coins? This is without 3 of coins. What if like each planet has a different like exotic, and you would? Like,
I feel like that's the case. Like I want like we kind of have farmable bosses now with the strike caches and whatnot, but I feel like that needs to be farther. Yeah, and that's exactly. Custom emblems and camos just encourages penis and Nazi symbols.
I feel like when you go on patrol, you should have a reason to be there. Not to just do patrols, but you should just be there, like maybe to find like a rare boss who drops like some kind of legendary or some kind of like exotic that actually is useful to you as a gamer.
Someone in chat just said, max level should be a luxury, not something that is simple to achieve, similar to how Year 1 was. I sort of agree, and I'm going to go back to Path of Exile here. Path of Exile, max level is not achieved by 99% of the community. 99% of the community never reaches level 100 in Path of Exile, because it's such a grind to do so. But all content is playable prior to that. Yeah, do you have to reach like level 84 to accomplish all content? Absolutely. But not every player reaches max level. I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I feel like it should be more on the not mandatory. 400 is nearly mandatory in Destiny to be effective in every game. No matter what you're playing. Like, there's some aspect of the game that makes it mandatory. And I feel like that shouldn't be the case. If I was 380, and I feel like there should be a stark difference between 380 and 400, but I want to be able to be just as effective. I want it to be more of a status symbol that I reached 400 light, and less of a, oh, you're not 400, we're not doing trials. That's, I don't know.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. See, the issue as far as like the ranking system goes, and the actual, what am I trying to say? Content that you would have access to, is severely limited because they're making a really common mistake for people who develop these kind of games, and that is to constantly push the end game so that 4 hours from whenever the game is released, like 30-40% of your player base is already end game, and then you have to constantly chase that ball as a developer. It's like, oh crap, they need we need to really push all this stuff through, and it's probably uncomfortable from a developer standpoint, but ultimately frustrating from a player standpoint, because it was just like what you were saying. Like, now it's to the point where if you're not 400 light, you can't even, truly contest with a lot of the material that, they spend a lot of time working on. You can't even access it,
You should be able to, and then get wrecked.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
For it.
That's exactly what we're saying. Like, you shouldn't have to be 400 to be, because, like, that's what caused the problems with like LFGs when 33 was the max level or 34 was the max level, right? Everyone was like, if you're not 32, we're not carrying you or not taking you on the raid. Well, how the hell were you supposed to be 32 if you've never done the raid before? Like, that was the problem with that.
Right, and that specifically, this topic is something that I think Destiny missed the mark on. I hope they address in 2, but I think that the vision hit the nail head on. Like, that was something that they nailed, like, right out of the gate. Well, not right out of the gate. I shouldn't say that.
Okay, so let's put it this way. Someone just said, quoted, you said, you're not 400, you probably don't play as much, or I have experience because it's so easy to reach, right? You can't tell how good a player is based on the fact that they're 400 light because it's expected of you.
Because anybody can get 400 light.
If you're not 400, you must not have experience, and I don't think that should be the case.
That's wrong. Because even though I don't play the game, I could easily get to 400 light.
If it was a free game, though, that would be different, and I could understand a model like that if it was free.
Yes.
But it's not.
We have yet to experience features that make the game a real good game, like.
And I understand it's the first attempt at like a first-person MMO RPG. I get it. It was kind of original in what it attempted to do. It's the first game that had mechanic-based raids and not just health sponges like Borderlands had. Right? Borderlands tapped in the raid idea, but it was literally just put a bunch of health on something, they'll beat it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I'll fundamentally agree with a lot of people here, but Borderlands was a fun game to play. Like, I had fun playing it. I've never had fun playing Destiny.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a community problem, I think, or a developer problem. I just think we all need to get together and work as a community and tell Bungie what they should fix instead of yelling at them saying that you did this, blah, 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 blah. Because all I see on the Reddit now is like people getting upset for no reason instead of just, okay, so here it is. Here are my thoughts around it.
It's all salt.
Here's what I think that it should be put into the game. I'm not angry about it, but I just think that like the game would be better if this.
And not even those words, but like a lot of it's just salt. It doesn't need to be like all sugar coated or anything like that, because nothing I've said today is sugar coated. Right?
No, nothing
like,
I've said either.
Like, I've been constructive and critical of the game today, but I've not been sitting here and be like, well, it's a good game, but you could do this. No, I don't. I'm not playing that stuff. But like someone said that it's a community problem, and it's not even a community problem. No matter how good a developer is, no matter how much a workforce they have, no matter how big the community, how much money they have, they will never keep up with their hardcore players. It's just impossible to keep up with your hardcore players. And where Destiny missed the mark, it has replayability for a lot of people.
Would you say they'll add features that are most requested?
No, I just feel like there's not enough replayability.
Yeah, that's what I feel
too.
too.
Gone down that road with Infinity Ward and Treyarch both, and it worked against them 100%.
Yeah. I don't find the replayability in the game, but Path of Exile and Diablo, going back to those games, you can find a lot.
Well, the thing is that is the replayability mindless? Absolutely, but at least it's somewhat engaging replayability. I've literally sat here for 2.5 hours, and I pretty much occasionally looked at the screen, right, and then I just start pulling the trigger at my target, and then I look at chat. That's what I've been doing for 2.5 hours. That's not engaging enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not engaging. And
it means the game's not that intriguing enough to you.
At least at this point, it doesn't have enough end game to keep me wanting to look at it. Like the loot, I haven't looked at a single piece of loot that I've gotten.
Do you think there should be monthly content drops? Monthly?
I don't think there should be monthly content drops, because then it becomes like we're gonna get subpar content that's broken.
Let's think about Path again. They have leagues, right?
Yeah, those are every 3 months, and occasionally an expansion. That's fine, great, right? And I still feel that there should be a league type of system in Destiny, but that's like a totally different. That appeals to such a small market, and I understand why it's not there.
If Path of Exile is successful on console, you're going to see a lot of people changing the way they do their business, though.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. If the Xbox release of Path of Exile does any sort of good, we're going to see a vast difference in a lot of games, because I think that they're not a threat right now because they're a PC game.
Oh, you wait. Consoles. Path of Exile on consoles is going to be interesting.
You actually kind of touched on a good point of just kind of industry change in general. One of the points that I've really paid attention to, and I definitely harp on quite a bit, is using Ubisoft as an excellent example for that.
Okay.
So yeah, Ubisoft, they got caught up in this Call of Duty thing with their Assassin's Creed property, right?
Yeah.
And that was fun for a while, like. But now what you're seeing, is they've actually taken a step back, and they're like, guys, like, we need to make a really, really good product. Like, it just needs to be fun and cool, and and
replayable.
Acceptable. That's it. Yeah, absolutely playable.
And then they made Siege, and then that was a great game.
Well, they got The Division, which is still an ongoing experiment, and right. I think it redeemed itself. Where I fell off in The Division was much like the Destiny, where it was just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
And then you come back a month later, and you're like, holy crap! Like, everything is different, and it's I have so much to do now. I can actually.
It's so much better. Like, fuck.
On top of that, I mean, you mentioned Siege. That's a huge step in the right direction for a company like Ubisoft. I think Wildlands is going to be a great hit for all the people who really want a genuine single player / co-op experience.
Wildlands is an excellent game. If you guys are hitting beta next month, you guys should get it 100%. Great game.
I'm just hoping that some of you guys get keys, because I'm not.
I don't think open betas have keys.
Yeah.
Oh, open beta, right? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, open for sure. I'll be on that, no doubt.
And 1v1s
for a while. I played it. It was really good.
So someone talked about how having more options for PvP and used 1v1s as an example. If PvP had ranked, that'd be another thing that would add a lot to this game. I mean, the problem is that the balance is kind of shit in this game, and Bungie has really not hit the ball with balancing their PvP very well. So
yeah, it's bad.
Ranked, huh?
And if PvP was more balanced, I could definitely see that an option to add to the game would be a ranked system.
It's gonna be more sweaties.
Yeah, well, the problem is, from a PvP standpoint, is it's a non-dedicated server, 30 FPS shooter that just has poor weapon balance.
That it
Well,
has
the other thing, too,
the refresh
is
rate
they
is terrible.
They don't have the business incentive to actually start producing genuine, well-developed PvP content because they don't have any competitive licenses being sold at all.
Well,
No.
the problem is you would have a much more active competitive scene if you built the game around it, or at the very least made it a good feature.
You don't have to sit
I
there.
seriously think if they sold a license to ESL and genuinely started putting the top tier brackets together, because that's how you build a competitive game. God, this talk sucks. You have to start with the business of making sure that it's being watched. That's really what the deal is. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't like watching Destiny PvP because it just looks like a reskinned Halo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not that interesting to me. And that's
Yeah,
personal.
I wouldn't find that interesting in a PvP perspective, honestly.
Another-
Like, if
another
I were to
issue
watch
with-
that live, it would be
Another
very-
issue with PvP and Destiny is there isn't a high skill gap. Like, there isn't, the ceiling for skill isn't much higher than the lower end. It doesn't look different, right? You're not going to be like, if I told you, right, if I put 3 average players or 6 average players, right, and called it competitive, right, and then next game was 6 of the players that are known for sweats, and like you didn't know the names of the people. Like, if you couldn't see the names, if you couldn't see that one set was like a Triple X or Demetrius, Lucky Butt Wipe, you know, the top real crafty, right? That's one set of them. And then I just took 6 average players, someone like Cody and Bobby, but you never saw the names. You wouldn't really see the difference in action and skill level in Destiny's PvP. You look at something like, I don't know, let's throw in Rocket League competitive. If you looked at a prospect player, you know the vast difference between a prospect player and a grand champion. It's a much more interesting game to watch at a high level.
Because it has a skill gap.
Yeah, because there's a skill.
It's a squishy versus a nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
there's a skill gap.
Probably what, like 15, 20,000 people between, you know, that person and Grandmaster.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge skill ceiling to the game. And Destiny, once you're at the cap, there's nothing to improve upon. Like, once you're considered like the top tier players, the flawless weekly people, the real crafties of Destiny, they're there. They're not gonna get they're not gonna get much better than they already are because there isn't enough in the game to get better at. If you're accurate and you know the basics of being a competitive player in PvP, you're gonna be good at Destiny.
It's just placement, map awareness, and, you know, accuracy with weapons, and they've essentially squashed any sort of skill gap
In the game.
I mean, you might as well play Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
because you might as well go play Call of Duty because
which is another game that is notorious for just eliminating all skill gap.
Yeah.
But then, like, for example, you look at someone like, you can look at competitive Rocket League. At times, you can watch a competitive game and it seems basic, and then all of a sudden someone does something, you're like, what? What? You know what I mean? Like, you just get this, like, holy crap, that dude's phenomenal.
where did he learn to do that shit?
Like, you get those
Right, that
random
goes-
occurrences.
Yeah, it's back to what I was saying, where it's like Rocket League is an entertaining game to watch. That's why it has a competitive scene, because the money is there for people to be entertained.
Yep.
So, anyways, I gotta run. I gotta pick up my dry cleaning, and I got a 5:45 a.m. showtime to fly a professional baseball league player person to LAX tomorrow. So,
All right.
I'm gonna run. But
Ooh.
thank you guys for having me. Goodbye, stream, and
See ya, pilot man.
See ya, man.
Yeah, this definitely turned into one hell of a like.
It's a great podcast.
Podcast.
It's a great podcast.
That's what it turned into. It just turned into a
podcast. This podcast and subscribe to all of our channels. Dude, we have.
I bet you guys are all really. I bet you guys are all really biased about it. But was this more entertaining than the Destiny Community podcast? Was there more?
I feel like they do a lot of sucking each other's dick.
No, I don't even think that. No. I wouldn't even say that. I think there's a lot of Bungie sucking up too in that.
Yeah. Like I don't suck Bungie's dick. I don't suck nobody's dick. But like, if you,
I wouldn't even put it that. I wouldn't even like because I don't.
When people have different opinions and they disagree with certain things. Like,
yeah,
I don't agree with most of your suggestions. You don't agree with mine. A lot of people don't agree with. Everybody's got vast different opinions. And that's what makes this interesting to a lot of people, especially in your stream.
And I know you guys are biased because you guys like me and you like my friends and stuff like that. I get that. Like, I know that was a very, very biased question to ask. And
nobody likes me. To be fair, the Destiny community has held me in contempt for a year and a half. They're like, this guy, fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck you, Cody. What are you doing here? Just kidding. I love you, man.
You talk about Tyler? You talk about Tyler sounding familiar, the guy that just left, or who sounds familiar? If you're talking about Cody sounding familiar, if you were ever a subscriber of Destiny follower before it became PlayStation follower, and before he left, that may be where you've heard him from.
Yeah, he's right here. He's our best.
If you're talking about Coda used to be regularly on my channel. I used to stream with him regularly back on Twitch, and he also has a channel that you may or may not have found if you're into the Call of Duty glitching community. So
you might know Tyler if you've ever ridden on a plane and you've heard, "Attention all passengers, this is your pilot, Tyler."
Yeah,
that's where he's familiar from.
Or hey, you guys want to play Siege?
Yeah. And if you've heard Tyler before, potentially from the Discord, and if you've heard Tyler anywhere else, why do you know Tyler?
Yeah, how do you know Tyler? Please let us know.
Explain yourself.
We'll have to talk to
because Tyler has a lot of connections to YouTubers. I get that, but Tyler is a very behind-the-scenes kind of person, and pops in very randomly, like he did today.
He's like, "Hi guys."
And like you said, there isn't enough variety in the game. I think there's enough variety. I just don't think it's executed well.
I feel like it's good for somebody who's not aware, not aware of the game whatsoever. Like, if they were to just hop in and be like, "I'm just gonna go in this game blindly from like beginning to Rise of Iron content," I feel like they have enough to last them. Maybe
let's talk. Okay,
months.
So what do you think? Everything has been recycled. Let's talk about recycled content. And here we go again. I'm gonna make a comparison to Path of Exile. You ready for this? Because this is what we've done all freaking night. Can you guys tell I really enjoy that game? But anyway, let's talk about.
Can you tell that I love it too? Like, I fucking love that game.
Let's talk about Path of Exile for a second again. About recycled content. Okay, so Path of Exile is releasing an expansion in about 5 months or so. That changes the game from having 4 acts. If you ever played action RPGs, they all have acts, right? They've had 4 acts for quite some time, and they're releasing 6 new acts in their expansion, sort of, right?
Sort of.
So they are releasing a 5th act, right? They're releasing a 5th act, which is going to be completely brand new content. But Act 6 through 10 is going to be our trek back through the original acts using different paths based on what we previously did. And it is 100% recycled content. But if I didn't tell you it was recycled content, you wouldn't know. So the fact that it's recycled isn't the problem. It's not been executed well.
Yeah, I feel like what they're doing with that game is perfect, and when
Tyler said,
it launches
on
console,
if it does well, we'll see a lot of changes.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna put Destiny in competition for sure with that type of
another thing you just brought up. Another thing you just brought up, right? Is you paid the $35 that the new people are getting it for versus the $150 you played for. I get the understanding of why that could seem as a problem. I can get why, like, you're jealous of the fact that the loyal players have paid $150 and the new people are paying $35. And while I fully understand that, and I'm in the same boat of you, it's like, man, I paid like $150 for this game, right? Or some of you people bought collector's editions for everyone, so you're looking at like $300 for some of this. I can get why that's a problem, but you also have to remember that this game is 2.5 years old.
It's still got 2 or 3 more games left.
Wait. To be fair too, see, I feel that way. I'm guilty of feeling that way sometimes. I'm guilty of feeling like I've dropped $150, $160 on this game, and now people can go buy Destiny the collection for $40 or whatever it is, and they get all that content. But then I'm constantly reminded as I'm getting back into this game. I go do the brand new Nexus strike where you have to pick up the Aegis, the shield, to drop the Nexus's shield. You know what I mean? Where you use the relic from Vault of Glass. And literally, I have not been in that strike with a group of randoms that knew how to use that relic because they did not experience that content that all of us who did pay more money. I mean, you're not going to find a group for King's Fall right now. So even though they're getting a discount, I mean, they're kind of buying a shell of a game because a lot of the content nobody does, and it's completely irrelevant.
And that's
they're realistically just buying the story mode, which who the hell cares about that? There's like 25 missions total, and they're getting one viable raid.
Okay, let's put it this way. Also, another valid point: the $150 versus $35. Let's say you just bought it, like you buy it today, right? You buy it for $35. Okay. You spend $35 in the game. You're probably not going to do Vault of Glass. You're probably not going to do Crota's End. You may do Prison of Elders. You probably won't do Challenge of Elders. You probably won't do King's Fall. Okay? So there's the first thing. And if you do, you're lucky. You're only going to do Wrath of the Machine the whole story. So in that, and let's say that those people play for 400 hours. Right? 400 hours in the year, and that's a hardcore player that's going to play 400 hours between now and Destiny 2's launch. I'll even put it at hours. Okay, let's say 200 hours. Let's just give them like they'll play 200 hours casually over the next year. They paid $35 to do that 200 hours worth of playtime. Most of you that are watching this stream right now that are still actively playing this game today probably have upwards of 1,500 hours. I would not be surprised.
So you've got 5 times the amount of time put in, and you paid 5 times, roughly as much.
And you experienced all 3 raids. And you experienced all the content when it was fresh and new.
That's the problem with raids, though. Like when a new player comes in, they don't, like you said, they don't experience Vault of Glass, so they don't know how to fucking do Vault of Glass. Or, like, for example, Crota's sword, like, nobody knows what that sword is there on this mission for, or for some reason.
There are a lot of kindergartens, and
they
now I don't even know year 3. Like, I don't even know what they would
they
be
only
called.
play Wrath of the Machine. That's all they play.
But if the rumors turn out to be decent and we do at least get like a remastered Vault of Glass, man, that's going to be some interesting times.
Well, it's not a remastered Vault of Glass. We should make it so every single raid is
No. We're talking about like if we are going to get the rumor, the April update. If we do get Vault of Glass and Crota's End brought up to current times, it's going to be an interesting time. I will say that.
Yes, because so many players. I mean, Vault of Glass, in my opinion, is mechanically the most fun raid in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass for sure. But the first time that we killed Atheon, I mean, I haven't had a feeling that of that level of excitement in this game since then.
Would you say King's Fall was kind of good? It was kind of
King's Fall was great, but I already was familiar with the mechanics and understood complex mechanics. But as primarily a console player only, I had never experienced mechanic heavy.
Right.
6-person things where I had to rely on my teammates.
You guys might not agree with this, but here's what I think raids should basically have. They should have
Like they should all be the same exact. They should be based on your light level, and you should be able to get like whatever Fate Bringer by any means necessary, or you should be able, like any weapon from any raid that you wanted. You should be able to have that.
On that point, someone in chat said, I don't think it should have to be remastered. Bungie made a mistake when they didn't keep it relevant with the expansions. And I agree. That's exactly what Kodo was just saying, is that it should have just, like... But then again, okay, to play devil's advocate on that situation, look at games like World of Warcraft, where they don't keep all the past raids relevant, because there's no point in... There's a scale, there's a balance that you have to create. Do you want new... or do you want balanced old? That's like, really think about that question. Do you want a bunch of new stuff, or do you want all the old stuff to be brought to level and just keep doing the same thing, or occasionally more new stuff?
Okay, how many raids are in World of Warcraft?
A lot.
A lot of raids, right?
A lot.
So it makes sense why they drop the old raids, because there's too many to count.
And again,
Destiny only has 4 raids. And it's hard to like compare 4 raids to how many World of Warcraft has.
You can though, because like that's a PC game, right? This is a console game. Only so much can fit on a console game, and I can get while there are limitations to it, and I get that while World of Warcraft makes more sense for leaving things, and other games leave things behind when new content comes out. But it's just kind of like, you have to find a balance of, do you want new, or do you want a lot of new, or some new with better old?
What about the most requested? It's obviously Vault of Glass. People love that. What if like I said, if you do remaster those raids, then I don't know if it would be a good thing. Like this is my thing. This is my thoughts. You remaster a raid that's really popular, that people really loved, then yeah, you should bring it back. But if it's like Crota's End, which is not really that popular, not really that good, then yeah, you should keep it back. Like that's what I think.
Okay, so someone said, surely it's not hard to just bump light levels. And while you're saying that, in a very, very blanket statement, it may not be like when you... Oh yeah, I think Destiny 2 will be on PC, to answer that question. But
I'll be playing on
just
PC.
Just bump light levels is very, very simple to say, but not as easy to do. You have to remember that this game's engine is very, very old. It was made by Bungie. It wasn't a previous engine that was remastered. Right? It's an old engine, and it can only accomplish so much. This is why mistakes like Cauterize and the RAM and all these health regen perks got unintentionally nerfed. While it may seem a very simple fix, just bump the light levels.
It doesn't work like that.
It may not be coded that way. In order to reproduce the vault, they might have to recode the entire vault. Destiny 2 has not been confirmed PC. It has all but been confirmed. Destiny 2 is not confirmed. It is highly speculated. Bungie has not. Bungie and Activision have not come out and said that it's that it is for sure on PC.
If it is going to be on PC, I'm quitting console and going to PC. Like that.
Absolutely. And like, but it's nothing on Destiny 2 is surefire. Any rumor you hear about Destiny 2 being confirmed on anything that has been posted prior to today, and today included, there's a good, like, who knows? Tomorrow they could announce a bunch of stuff. We don't know. But as of this current date, right now, if anything, Bungie has not stated it.
Don't believe what that Reddit guy said, because I remember.
I'm curious as to where he's getting it. No. I'm curious as to where he's getting his information, because Bungie has not confirmed a single thing on Destiny 2.
Everybody can talk out of their ass, though, Matt. That's the thing. This is why I don't believe it. Is because everybody can just say random shit, and even I say random shit sometimes, and people believe it, because people are gullible and they don't actually look into the situation. And I knew right off the bat, like, this looks fake, because I'm looking on Google.
I don't even think he's referring to just that. Even if someone from Kotaku, who is very credible, has said that it's coming through, right?
I saw that one.
I believe Mr. What is his name? Josh Schreier, something like that.
Just
Cody,
because it comes from
do you
an
know who I'm talking
article-
about?
Is that the Kotaku guy?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's the Kotaku guy.
Now,
yeah.
now, to be fair, they are the most reliable source on Destiny info. But,
Yes.
but yeah, you definitely should exercise caution.
You should still take it as a grain of salt. Like just
Anything,
take it.
and I promise you, this is from me being completely honest with you. Anything said prior to today, right, including today, is nothing but speculation.
I feel
If
like
it-
everything that's said about Destiny 2 up until this point is speculation.
It is speculation. Is there credible speculation involved? Absolutely.
Sure, we could have to. Kotaku could have gone into Bungie and talked to
They
them
absolutely
about
have.
it, right?
They absolutely have. They have
yeah,
information. Like
They
they
always
do.
do.
They know. They know.
They know
There's,
exactly what's going on right now.
There's
so.
there's thousands of people that are unemployed by Bungie, but are employed by other places that are under NDAs right now, right? That know exactly what is coming in this game. If you think that Destiny 2 isn't almost done, or if it's probably not already going through the processes of being polished and approved and getting its ratings right now, you're sadly mistaken, because Destiny 2 is done. Let's
I
be
feel
honest.
like it's done. I feel like they're working on DLC right now.
Can they still tweak it? Yes, but Destiny 2 is done. Right now, it's probably done. And I'm saying this even from what I just said, like, that's my assumption that's done. That's still a speculation.
Considering it comes out in 2017, this September, it's done. It's
And
done.
this kind of counteracts exactly what I just said, where I said don't believe anything said. Don't go out and say, well, Koss said it's done, so it must be done, because I'm still speculating. Right?
Everybody speculates.
But no one has, unless it directly is on Bungie.net or comes from any Activision site.
or
right?
any Twitter profile named Deej or whatever the hell it is.
Even at that, I wouldn't take anything that a Bungie employee says right now. Unless
Isn't
it is
he
on,
like the main head, by the way? Like
he's
isn't
community
he,
manager.
No, he's the community manager, so he is
Okay,
our
yeah.
he's
Then
our direct line of contact.
He's kind of the way to go. Like if Deej says something, people are gonna freak out.
You've got room for one now, Matt. I'm gonna go to the tower.
I'm actually about to call it good here, but I was gonna finish up what I was talking about. Like, nothing being said right now should ever be taken as fact. And will there be an open beta? I don't know. How do I feel about having to restart completely in Destiny 2? I'm all for it. We need to restart. We need to start from the ground up.
We do need to restart. I feel like we shouldn't keep our light levels at all. We really
Nothing.
shouldn't. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I
That-
feel like
that's-
Destiny 2
okay.
should be a clean slate, and that's how it should be.
That
Yeah, I
right
agree
there.
with that also.
What Nick Reed just said. I'll believe it when I can buy it. That's when
Yes.
you should be. That's when you
Yes.
should believe anything about Destiny.
Yes.
Until you can buy Destiny on PC
Or pre-order it.
or pre-order it on PC, it is not confirmed for PC. Until it's on Bungie.net, purchasable on Steam or in your console store, or comes from Activision directly, none of it is fact.
There we go.
But
Thank you
Holy
for
crap.
watching this podcast.
that was
SoundCloud.
that was an awesome stream. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was much different than what I normally do. And this won't be a regular thing, but it might happen on occasion. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. There's definitely a different way of doing my stream. So
Let us
don't come to expect it, but it may happen on occasion. You guys seem to enjoy it. You guys talked a lot more than normal, so that's a thing. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna get out of here though. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, maybe play some different games. I'll re-upload the stream so you can watch the whole entire thing. It became a podcast, and I might put the word podcast-ish in, literally podcast-ish.
Oh yeah, make sure to put that SoundCloud link in the description. the grinders.
Oh no, dude! Like, you're not, and it's not a triggering thing. Like, I'm going, like, whenever I'm very opinionated, and I'm also very, very versed in, like, if I'm gonna talk about a topic, I like to know what I'm talking about. So if you say something that I'm gonna go off on a tangent, and I don't want to try to prove you wrong, without giving details as to why.
We
So,
don't
like-
want to make it so you don't have your opinion. We want to express our opinion to the public.
Yeah,
That's our
and-
opinion. You can
yeah.
keep your opinion to yourselves.
Or say it. Like, everything I said tonight, you could have completely disagreed with every suggestion I made tonight, and that's fine. Because anytime you say something and in chat, it gives me some sort of topic to talk about. So I appreciate it. I really do. So, Joseph, you're good. Don't worry about it. There was no triggering, per se. It just gave me something to talk about. So I appreciate it. I more appreciate it than anything. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. So I will see you probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to do at least 2 more streams this week. So I don't know when they're going to be, but at least 2 more.
No problem, Justin. Justarino.
So I'm going to link, hang on a second. If you guys are stick around for just a second here. I'm going to link Split Screen and Coda's channel real quick. If you guys want to go sub to them. Coda does primarily Call of Duty glitches, so it may not be your cup of tea, but if you want to go subscribe to him, you can. So I'll link, this is Coda's channel. I'll write Coda with that. And then I will link Split Screen as well, so. These were the guys. Yeah, Split Screen covers everything, so if that's something you're interested in.
Thanks for the stream.
We're basically gaming news, gods, and, story-related stuff for games. I'm going to be doing a lot more Destiny 2, or Destiny April update stuff when it comes around, so. Yeah, I do Destiny a little bit different than Matt does. I do a little bit more news-based stuff and gods. So
if you guys want to check those guys out, that'd be awesome.
Thanks for the stream. It was fun, actually.
It was definitely a fun stream.
I enjoyed it.
But I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.